Chapter 273. His palm mercilessly slapped the black dragon's body. The strength of this slap was not strong, but it activated the demonic restriction, causing the black dragon to cry out in pain and spit out a mouthful of black blood. Within the blood was a palm-sized black and red crystal. This crystal was the dark beast essence blood that the black dragon had painstakingly refined for 11 years. Ning Fan's eyes lit up. Blood crystal. Rumor has it that only a desolate beast's true spirit of the dragon clan can condense this crystal with the strength of its royal blood. This evil dragon doesn't have a royal blood, but it can condense a blood crystal. If that's the case, this evil dragon does have some use. It's just that this dragon's personality is too ruthless. What's more, he has a rebellious heart. It's still alright to use him this time. However, if I keep him by my side for a long period of time, given his innate talent, he will definitely break through to the void refinement realm in a single step once he has a fortuitous encounter. It's a pity to kill him, but it's a disaster to keep him alive. The only way to solve this problem once and for all is to refine him into a corpse puppet. A trace of ruthlessness flashed across Ning Fan's eyes. In an instant, the black dragon who was restrained by the demon seal and could not move at all felt a chill down his spine. The black dragon knew that this malefic star must have thought of something terrifying and wanted to deal with him. It's over, it's over. I was too arrogant and offended this fiend. Big brother. I've already given you the dark beast blood crystal. Can you let me go back to the golden flame chariot? In the future, I'll definitely pull the chariot for Big Brother wholeheartedly and will never dare to betray you again. Pull a cart? We naturally need you to pull the chariot. However, it won't be the living you. Instead, it will be the dead you. When he obtained the black dragon, he already knew that it would be difficult to truly subdue it. After all, the demon restriction was still an unstable factor. It would be a waste to kill the black dragon, but it would be a future trouble if he was kept alive. The best way was to refine him into a puppet. If he was a puppet, he would be able to control everything as he pleased. This evil dragon would not dare to have any more thoughts of betrayal. With the demonic technique of the corpse demon record, it was not impossible to refine this dragon into a refined corpse. In fact, after the refinement, the dragon's cultivation would be refined into its physical body, and its strength would increase. As a living dragon, he was a failure. He was weaker than others of the same level, because he lacked the domineering aura of the dragon race. However, as a corpse puppet, this dragon's corpse would be extremely powerful. However, there were two difficulties with the corpse refining puppet. Firstly, this dragon was only a demon soul, so it had to bear the brunt of the attack. It needed to be restored. Secondly, he must erase the memories of this dragon's sea of consciousness. However, he could neither pry into its memories nor erase its memories in the past. However, after Yun Hai attained the spirit transformation realm, a seed of samsara was planted in his heart, giving him a deeper understanding of the power of samsara. This enlightenment was very weak, not enough to search his memories, but erasing his memories was terrifying. Samsara. A single reincarnation could strip away everyone's memories. This was a power that not even immortal emperors could fully control. You will be a good corpse puppet? The corner of Ning Fan's mouth curved into a smile, but this smile made the black dragon feel a bone-chilling coldness. What? This was impossible. This fiend actually wanted to refine him into a corpse puppet. How dare he? In the next moment, a tearing pain rose in his sea of consciousness. The black dragon no longer doubted Ning Fan's determination. If the black dragon had been obedient, it would have been fine. But since it was a hidden threat, then it was fine to get rid of it. Fiend, you will die a horrible death. I am the young master of the black dragon race, a heaven-defying dragon who has almost awakened his royal blood. I am not convinced, not convinced. You want to refine me into a corpse puppet? Dream on. You won't be able to erase my memories. Ha! The black dragon revealed an arrogant smile and even began to forcefully break the demon restriction, vowing to risk his life. As expected, you are the only one who is right. The cold light in Ning Fan's eyes faded away and gradually became older. As if a seed had sprouted, Ning Fan's eyes alternated between pure black and pure white in a strange manner. For the first time in his life, the black dragon felt an irresistible sense of insignificance and inferiority. He was stunned and his dragon body began to tremble. What kind of gaze is this? This is samsara. In front of samsara, all living beings were lowly and there were no exceptions. A finger pointed at the dragon's head. Between the gap of the finger, a purplish-golden sandstorm rolled up and enveloped the black dragon. Immediately, the black dragon's memories vanished like smoke. The glory and enmity of the past turned into nothingness under this finger. What kind of ability is this? The black dragon uttered the last sentence and let out a miserable shriek. All of his memories were lost. His sea of consciousness succeeded. Moreover, this wind mist finger could even erase the demon restriction. Ning Fan's eyes turned solemn. Mental restriction and demon restriction were not reliable methods. The only thing that was truly reliable was one's own strength. Other than killing enemies, the wind mist finger could also erase one's memories. It could even erase the mental restriction and demon restriction. Perhaps, it could also easily erase the marks of magic treasures. If there was a void fragmentation realm expert who was planted with a mental restriction, Ning Fan could help him break it and receive a reward. However, Ning Fan did not know that this idea would come true somewhere in the internal endless sea. At this moment, looking at the dragon soul whose memories were erased, the next step was to help the dragon recover its physical body. Heavenly materials and earthly treasures were injected into the dragon soul. Within the black light, the demon body was slowly being reconstructed. Strangely, when the demon body was being reconstructed, the dormant demon blood in the black dragon's body was actually boiling. Bit by bit, as if it was evolving, it was trying to break through to the royal grade of the blood. However, this evolution was stopped by a barrier. After a long time, the dragon body was reformed, but the royal grade blood had yet to break through. It was always missing a step before the breakthrough. What am I missing? Ning Fan's eyes became deeper and deeper. When the purple star in his left eye emerged, he understood. I'm missing spirit. He did not know what spirit was. However, he knew that the Fu Li clan possessed a spirit. He activated a trace of demon power and injected it into the black dragon corpse. As soon as the trace of demon power flowed into the dragon corpse, the blood of the dragon corpse boiled. A trace of faint black light shrouded the dragon corpse. If Ning Fan was not mistaken, this dragon corpse already possessed the royal grade dragon blood even though it was very thin. Ning Fan's eyes brightened. His Fu Li demon power actually had the ability to help the true spirit clan awaken the royal grade blood. If it wasn't because this evil dragon almost awakened its royal grade blood, and if I didn't kill this traitorous dragon, I wouldn't have known that my Fu Li demon power has such a divine ability. His eyes seemed to have understood something. After pondering for a moment, he put away his expression and slammed his palm on the head of the dragon corpse. He no longer showed any mercy and completely shattered the dragon's sea of consciousness. The demon's soul was destroyed. As such, this dragon was just a peak divine transformation realm dragon corpse which was close to the half-step void refinement realm. In his right eye, a black star emerged. It was the Earth Star. This star was called the Devil Star. What he cultivated was the corpse devil record. The corpse refinement technique recorded in it was definitely not weak. The only pity was that there were only 11 traces of corpse chi and devil sense in his right eye, which was equivalent to 11 units of devil chi. The devil star flashed and the corpse chi turned into devil flames. It burned the dragon corpse and added corpse chi and devil sense to it, turning it into a real refined corpse. 3 days later, the refinement process was halfway completed. However, it could not proceed any further. At this stage, 11 units of devil chi was not enough to proceed to the next step. Ning Fan had no choice but to stop for the time being. Looking at the half-finished refined corpse, he glanced at the black dragon pond and his eyes lit up. The corpse chi in this place was extremely dense. It was the best place to cultivate the corpse devil record and increase his devil chi. Not only was there an immemorial dragon corpse here, but there were also the skeletons of great cultivators who had fallen here in the past thousands of years. Apart from that, there were also thousands of dark beasts which were killed by the black dragon, leaving behind deep resentment in this place. Absorb. The Earth star rotated rapidly, forming a black whirlpool. Traces of corpse chi were sucked into Ning Fan's eyes. These dead dark beasts and demon cultivators were at least at the nascent soul realm. Moreover, under the strange terrain of the dragon pond, they formed extremely strong yin chi and resentment. Thousands of traces of yin chi were sucked into Ning Fan's eyes. However, they only turned into less than 100 units of devil chi. There were only 98 traces of devil sense. Adding the previous 11 traces, there were only 109 traces of devil sense, which was equivalent to 109 units of magic power. 109 units of devil chi, mid-nascent soul realm. With Ning Fan's experience, 100 units of magic power was no longer enough to excite him. Tens of thousands of nascent soul realm, great nascent soul realm and spirit severing realm cultivators had fallen in this place. It would probably be very difficult to achieve the spirit severing realm with 10,000 traces of devil sense. Unless there was an ancient tomb as large as the internal endless sea and hundreds of millions of cultivators who had died in this place, I might be able to achieve the spirit severing realm. How could such a place really exist? Such a place might really exist. The ancient heavenly court. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. The ancient heavenly court had been breached by someone and only ruins were left. It was unknown how many true immortals had died in it and how heavy the yin chi and resentment was there. If I can enter the ancient heavenly court, the yin chi of the dead alone would be enough for me to cultivate the corpse devil record to an extremely terrifying level, not to mention other opportunities. He collected his thoughts and continued to burn the dragon corpse with the 109 traces of black devil flames. 3 days later, the dragon puppet was completed. After all, wild beasts could only be strong if they had physical bodies. This dragon corpse had been smelted and strengthened by thousands of spiritual ores. After the dragon blood of a peak divine transformation realm cultivator fused into its body, its aura force improved to the half-step void refinement realm. Even though its aura force was slightly weaker than that of a void transformation realm expert, it was not much different. The black dragon's dream had come true. He had finally broken through to the half-step void refinement realm. However, he could no longer feel happy because he was already dead. Without his life, what was the use of having strength? A half-step void refinement realm corpse puppet. With this corpse puppet, even though Ning Fan might not be invincible in the second world, he could still run amok. He cast a hand seal on the black dragon and it immediately shrunk into a small, cold black snake. Then he kept it inside his storage pouch. Even though the dragon plague was resolved, he did not immediately stabilize his cultivation base. With a flick of his sleeve, he took out a silver compass and remained silent. This compass was called the star compass. It could travel in the void. It was a commonly used flying treasure in the four heavens immortal world. There was even a map of a star region inside it. It was marked as the star region of the void world. Even though it was just a star region, it was much bigger than 10,000 rain worlds combined. The size of the rain world could be considered as a small kiliocosm. The void world, on the other hand, was a medium-sized world. Immortal Emperor Meng Xuanzi, the tablet-wielding immortal emperor of the Black Tortoise Star in the void world. The reason why he gave me this item was so that I can look for him when I ascend to the immortal world in the future. To establish a good relationship, no matter if this Meng Xuanzi is really kind or not, I will not enter a dangerous place recklessly before I have the power to protect myself. After keeping the star compass, Ning Fan swallowed the dark beast blood crystal and closed his eyes to refine it. His cultivation base was stabilizing and gradually improving under the nourishment of the dark beast blood crystal. This dark beast blood crystal that was meticulously refined by the black dragon for 11 years contained demon power that was at least equivalent to a divine transformation realm Dao fruit. After consuming it, his demon power increased by 700 units and slowly broke through to 15,450 units. Such a breakthrough was unimaginable in the nascent soul realm. However, it was common in the divine transformation realm. The standard of early divine transformation realm was 10,000 units of magic power. The standard of mid-divine transformation realm was 50,000 units. The standard of late divine transformation realm was 150,000 units. The peak divine transformation realm was 300,000 units. The half-step void refinement realm was 500,000 units. 1,000,000 units of magic power was the void refinement realm. Compared to 1,000,000 units of magic power, 700 units of magic power was really, really little. He closed his eyes without saying a word, but his mind was deep in thought. After ascending the sea of clouds this time, he had obtained an increase of 2,480 units of magic power in the third step of mortal severance realm. It was a great thing. However, there was also a regret. The blood lightning of the heavenly tribulation that would allow his magic power to break through to the peak nascent soul realm was blocked by the sea of clouds. Therefore, he had lost a chance to refine the spirit-shattering whip. It was inevitable that there would be losses in the process. Unfortunately, his main cultivation was magic power. His demon power could not trigger the heavenly tribulation. After breaking through to the divine transformation realm, his spirit sense had already reached the mid-divine transformation realm. In addition to the second level of the Jade Life Body technique, which was also comparable to a mid-divine transformation realm cultivator, Ning Fan was confident that he could defeat a late divine transformation realm cultivator. In fact, if he were to execute the Wind Mist Finger, he might even be able to kill an advanced stage cultivator. However, I'm afraid that I won't be able to defeat a peak divine transformation realm expert. However, I have the Black Dragon puppet now. My half-step void refinement realm is much stronger than a peak divine transformation realm expert. The Yao Art, Parting Sun Spear, could barely be used. He still needed to cultivate it. In terms of speed, he could already use teleportation, but he was still not proficient. Even so, with the help of the Fu Li Demon Wings, his speed should be comparable to a late divine transformation realm cultivator. What if I add the speed spirit seal to my wings? Ning Fan's eyes flashed with determination. Before I leave the dragon pond, I might as well make use of the abundant demonic power in this place to carve a spirit seal. The wings needed spiritual seals, and so did the Separation Slayer and the Spirit-Shattering Whip. Other than the map in Lu Daochun's possession, he had accomplished all his goals in coming to Luo Yun Prefecture. Soul extraction. The range of the soul extraction this time was very small. It only involved the Dragon Lake. However, the demonic power it absorbed was endless, enough for Ning Fan to carve the spirit seal. The calamity of Luo Yun had finally arrived. In the Luo Yun Palace, Lu Daochun sat with his eyes closed. Below him, there were two groups of people. One of them was led by a beautiful lady in purple robes. The other group was led by a cold-looking young man in golden robes. Both of them were asking for the map from Lu Daochun. However, Lu Daochun had no intention of submitting. Crown Prince Chu Shun, Imperial Concubine Z, I have promised the map to someone else. I cannot break my promise. Therefore, I can't give it to you. Oh? You mean you want to give it to Liu Bei? Humph. He's just a nascent soul realm ant. He's still trying to break through to the divine transformation realm. Even if he succeeds, what right does he have to possess the map? Imperial Concubine Z's eyes darkened. If it wasn't for Demon Concubine Wu Yan's advice, she would definitely take action and snatch Lu Daochun's map. With her peak divine transformation realm strength, she naturally did not put Liu Bei in her eyes. Even though Demon Concubine Wu Yan had reminded her several times to not provoke Liu Bei. Liu Bei? He's the one who killed Li Ban and Jin Kun. When the news reached the upper world seemed to be very angry. They even blamed me. I must kill this person. His map will fall into my hands sooner or later. If you want to give your map to Liu Bei, you can give it to me directly, because Liu Bei will definitely die. What's the use of this map? The Demon Crown Prince, Chu Shun, was the son of Emperor Chu of the demon world. He was only 1,200 years old but had already reached the peak divine transformation realm. His aptitude was comparable to I Ching of the Black Tortoise planet. Even in the upper world, his aptitude was top-notch. He was a true expert who had dominated the demon world and defeated countless outstanding talents. He was someone who had the potential to reach the heavenly demon realm. His combat strength was above Imperial Concubine Z, but his background was weaker. He was only the son of the Demon King of the lower world, while Imperial Concubine Z was from the Spirit King Palace. Therefore, he did not dare to fight with Imperial Concubine Z in the second world. It was also because Lu Daochen had Imperial Concubine Wu Yen as his backing. Although he was eager to snatch Lu Daochen's map, he still restrained himself in the Luo Yun world. Chu Shun's eyes darkened and immediately hid his cold intent. He shook his golden folding fan and smiled. Forget it. I represent the cleansing flame and have 3 maps. Imperial Concubine Z represents the Spirit King Palace and has 2 maps. Your Luo Yun world still has 2 maps. The 2nd Division's Thunder and Water Division and the 3rd Division's Wind and Cloud Division each have 1 map. It will be too troublesome if we continue to fight like this. Why don't we take this opportunity to set up a battle in your Luo Yun world? Everything will be decided by force. The 9 maps must be combined into 1 in order to open the world passage. Since it is difficult for one division to monopolize the quota to enter the world passage, it will be shared among all the divisions. However, it will be decided by the result of this battle. Crown Prince, you mean? Lu Daochen's eyes darkened. This Chu Shun was not a simple person. If the world passage of the third world is opened, it won't be difficult for at least 50 Divine Transformation Realm experts to enter the world passage. After this battle, the world passage will definitely be opened. The 9 maps will be controlled by the first place of the battle. As for entering the third world, the top 50 of the battle will be chosen. All right, I will accept it. Lu Daochen's eyes flashed with determination. This was a good idea. In his opinion, even if Ning Fan succeeds in the Divine Transformation Realm, it would be difficult for him to seize all the maps after the forces of the Demon World and the Demon Spirit Land get involved. However, it should not be difficult for Ning Fan to enter the top 50 with his current strength. Imperial Concubine Z's eyes darkened. She did not like this suggestion. After all, in her plan, the Spirit King Palace should monopolize the third world. Moreover, she knew that her strength was slightly weaker than Chu Shun. She could at most get the second place in the battle. Chu Shun would definitely be the first place. Crown Prince Chu Shun sneered inwardly. He believed that his strength could be ranked first in the second world. No matter how many people from the Cleansing Flame Division enter the battle, he would definitely be the first. I have a condition. If Crown Prince Chu agrees to it, I will agree to participate in this battle. What condition? Chu Shun's eyes turned cold. Peak Soul Formation cultivators are not allowed to participate in the battle. Only Soul Formation late-stage cultivators are allowed to enter the ring. Concubine Z sneered. She was not as good as Chu Shun, but she knew that Wu Yen Demon Concubine was rare among the late-stage Soul Formation cultivators. She might be able to fight for first place. Once she obtained the 9 maps, it would be hard to say if she would still abide by the agreement and allow people outside of the Spirit King Palace to enter the third realm. If he could take it all for himself, why not? Even if Chu Shun took everything for himself, would he, Chu Shun, still dare to make a move against him? All right, I can accept this condition. Chu Shun's eyes darkened. In this way, the outcome of the arena battle would change. Apart from Lu Jiefen, the Cleansing Fire Demon Sealer, there was also the Lightning Water Demon Sealer and the Wind Cloud Demon Sealer. Of course, there was also Wang Xiao, who was busy reconstructing his demon body. As for the Spirit King Palace, there were 2 late-stage demon concubines. If Wang Xiao can regain his demon form, he will have a good chance of winning first place. Everyone had their own thoughts. A grand battle spread from Luo Yun to the entire second realm. For those tribes that had lost the map, this was a chance to enter the third realm. To Ning Fan, this was also an opportunity. Chapter 274. The wind rose again. 7 months later, a giant floating platform rose above the Luo Yun prefecture. It looked like a cloud, but it was as hard as steel. Cloud platform. This platform was formed by the Luo Yun County Protecting Formation. It was the place where the Luo Yun demon generals paid their respects. But now, it had become the arena of the world map battle. The experts of the 9 divisions flocked to Luo Yun for the Battle of the World Road. The 9 maps were combined into one, and there were 50 slots. The experts did not dare to hope to be the champion and fight for the realm map, but they were willing to compete for a few slots. In the third world, if a fiend commander was slumbering, then when a fiend commander was awakened, they would be bestowed with quite the fortuitous encounter. It was rumored that Demon Commander Lu Wu was once the caretaker of the Celestial Emperor's herb garden. If he had the opportunity, he could find half an ancient herb's remnant leaf from the third realm, which would be a great opportunity. It was rumored that Demon Marshal Lu Wu had once gouged out one of the demon stars in the left eye of the Heavenly Emperor. If one could obtain this demon star, it would be a great opportunity. No matter what the purpose was, the world passage of the third world had really drawn everyone's attention. Even among them, only a few of them knew that a huge change had occurred in the third realm. The demon commander had died and the Star Palace had appeared. However, this did not affect the excitement of the elites of the 9 divisions. The 9 divisions stopped their expedition at that moment. Almost all the demon generals gathered at Luo Yun. Lu Sheng and the other border generals were also summoned back to maintain order and prepare for the battle. Outside the county, several demon cities were temporarily built for the foreign cultivators to stay in. It was noisy and there was rarely any peace. Even in the prefectures, there were endless crowds of people. Purchasing spirit ores, forging magic treasures and demonic weapons, purchasing spirit equipment and medicinal pills, busying himself with breaking through cultivation, selling materials, exchanging for immortal jades, spending immortal jades, exchanging for demonic arts and demonic techniques in the Sutra Tower, the auction house, the demon workshop, and the scripture tower were filled with busy figures. There was still half a month until the arena battle. Almost all the experts of the 9 divisions who were supposed to come were here. There was only one place that remained peaceful under Lu Daochun's orders. Dragon Pool. Beside the Dragon Lake, the purple-haired wind lady and the red-dressed waitress were waiting with copper basins, clean water, towels, and vegetarian food. 11 years had passed, and the 2 women were already at the late Golden Core realm. Ning Fan had once said that he would break through to the spirit-severing realm in 10 years. The 2 of them had been waiting ever since the deadline. However, it seemed like Ning Fan was slightly later than the agreed time. This was not surprising. After all, cultivation was the most difficult thing to predict. 11th year, 7th month, 9th day. Master has yet to return. If he doesn't return soon, the arena battles will begin. Will Master be all right? The Wind Maiden's fingers were twirling around her purple hair as she asked worriedly. I heard that this dragon pool is filled with dark beasts. I hope that Master is safe and sound. The waitress put her palms together and prayed softly. They waited and waited, but Ning Fan didn't appear in the end. The 2 girls slowly turned around, only to see another girl walking over. That woman was dressed in a green feather robe. Her movements were enchanting and charming. Her eyes were filled with the smile of a prostitute, but within that smile, there was an air of nobility and dignity that kept people 1,000 miles away. Greetings, demon concubine. You don't have to be so polite. Liu Bei, have you not come out of the pond yet? No, the 2 girls immediately bowed slightly. The other party was the demon concubine of the Spirit King Palace, Wu Yan. Such an important person was in existence that they did not dare to look up to in the past. They did not dare to be rude. Such a big shot would never look at the 2 female demon companions more than once. In the past, such a big shot would never smile at the 2 girls. The Wind Maiden and the Tea Maiden understood that the reason why demon concubine Wu Yan treated them with respect was all because of their master. This servant will take her leave, the 2 girls left regretfully. Demon concubine Wu Yan had obtained Lu Daochun's permission. She was one of the few people who could get close to the dragon pool. During Ning Fan's long seclusion, she had visited him a few times. This demon concubine is probably our master's lover. The 2 girls thought with a sour feeling in their hearts. After the 2 girls left, demon concubine Wu Yan stood in the middle of the black pool. She was suffocated by the stench. She waved her sleeves to cover her mouth and nose while secretly blaming them. Stinky thief. How could you stay in such a stinky place for 11 years and still not come out? Could it be that you've suffocated to death in the dragon pool? The arena battles are about to begin. Are you still not going to come out? Wu Yan seemed to be talking to herself but also talking to the black pool. No one answered her. There was only the sound of the wind that carried a chaotic and uneasy atmosphere. Thus, Wu Yan gently squatted down and looked at the thick black pool. Then she began to murmur to herself. However, she knew that the water of the dragon pool could block spirit sense. Ning Fan, who was in the pool, could not hear her thoughts. Loneliness, and the exhaustion of her identity as a demon concubine. It was not the first time. Anyway, you little thief can't hear me. What can you do even if I tell you? In the end, the demon concubine stood up and tidied her hair that was messed up by the wind. Then she left quietly. However, when she walked out of the dragon pool, she suddenly realized that Lu Wan-o was looking at her with a strange expression. Elder Sister Yen, you're here again. I'm here to see if this Liu Bei has come out of seclusion and if he can make it to the arena battles. If he can't, I'm afraid he won't be able to participate in the arena battles. However, this won't affect the outcome of the battles. After all, even though he has the map, his cultivation base isn't high. Be it Crown Prince Chu or Imperial Concubine Z, both of them are confident that they can compete for the map that Liu Bei has after obtaining the other 8 maps. Elder Sister, why do you need to explain so much to me? It's not like I don't know. Could it be that Elder Sister is feeling guilty and trying to hide something? Lu Wan blinked her eyes and said smilingly, "But, little girl, you've become bolder after breaking through to the late nascent soul realm. How dare you tease me?" Wu Yan was naturally annoyed. What do I need to hide? I don't have a good impression of Liu Bei. I can only hate him. After teasing Wu Yan, Lu Wan's expression turned serious. Elder Sister, I want to ask you a favor. Say it. If it's not difficult, I won't reject you. If Liu Bei comes out of seclusion in time to participate in the arena battles, please show mercy to him. Don't hurt him. Silly girl. Even if he fails to break through to the divine transformation realm, it won't be easy for me to hurt him. This little thief's bewitching technique is very powerful. The demon concubine's face turned red. She seemed to recall the day when Ning Fan touched her wrist and planted the plucking finger on her. Little thief? Bewitching technique? Lu Wan asked doubtfully. It's nothing. You go and accompany your lover. I'll leave first. The arena battles are approaching. I'm afraid that Imperial Concubine Z will tell me some things. The demon concubine left hurriedly as if she was hiding from something. Lu Wan looked at the demon concubine's back and sighed faintly as if she had understood something. Elder Sister has a hard life. Even though I'm a demon concubine, I have no choice. Marrying a spirit king whom I've never even met before must be lonely. She slowly walked into the dragon pond, passing through the weeds and the autumn dew. The wind is blowing and the sky is cold. Why don't you return? Wavering, Hubugue, Lu Wan really wanted to jump into the pond to see if Ning Fan was all right. However, she did not do so. Even though she loved cleanliness, she was not afraid of the fishy smell of the pond water. She was also not afraid of the dangers of the dark beasts. She was just afraid of disturbing Ning Fan. You promised me that you will help me refine the phoenix wings. If you don't return, who will I fly for even if I have wings? Ning Fan? The arena battles are about to begin. They are looking forward to your early return. Even though I miss you, I would rather you come out later and not participate in this battle. You are too eager to excel. You have clearly not attained the divine transformation realm yet, but you insist on going against a demon general. Do you know how dangerous that is? Do you know that while others love your glory, I'm worried that you will get hurt? There is still half a month before the arena battles begin. Elder brother has also returned. The land of Luo Yun will be filled with conflicts. Although it seems to be a peaceful and fair battle, how many dangers are hidden in it? For the sake of the world map, they will certainly do anything. Ban Yu, you must not come out even if I miss you very much. Lun placed her hands on her chest and prayed silently. She prayed to the demon ancestor to protect Ning Fan and successfully attain the divine transformation realm. After standing there for a long time, the sky gradually turned dark. Lu Wan was reluctant to leave. Just as she was about to leave, a voice suddenly resounded from the bottom of the pond. It sounded like it was comforting her. "Don't worry. I will be fine. If this matter is over, I will give you a pair of phoenix wings, Ning Fan." Lu Wan turned around joyfully. Her face was flushed and her heart was racing. That voice was calm and peaceful. It meant that Ning Fan's condition must be extremely good. Even if he did not succeed in attaining the divine transformation realm, he was most likely safe and sound. Go back soon. This wind will make people feel uneasy. The Luo Yun realm will not be peaceful in the near future. After Lu Wan left, Ning Fan looked at the two treasures in front of him with a slight frown. The arena battles, Ning Fan muttered to himself. During the past 7 months, he had been carving the spirit seals on the two treasures and the phoenix wings. Due to the fact that he was busy extracting their souls, he could not concentrate and could not speak. However, he could still hear the conversations of the ladies. Ordinary people might not be able to hear them, but he could. The spirit sense of a mid-divine transformation realm cultivator could turn into the form of sword sense and penetrate the dragon pond. Whether it was the concern of the Tea Lady and the Wind Lady or Lu Wan's infatuation with him, Ning Fan heard all of them. However, what he did not expect the most was that demon concubine Wu Yen often came to the dragon pond to confide in him. She thought that Ning Fan would not be able to hear her, but he actually heard everything. Moreover, he even knew when she entered the Spirit King Palace and how long it took for her to attain the nascent soul realm and divine transformation realm. Indeed, there were some ladies from prestigious clans who carried glory and missions on their backs. Sometimes, they would talk to themselves at the mouth of a well or whisper to a small river. This lady actually poured out her heart to me, the dragon pond. How interesting. Thanks to her, Ning Fan had a comprehensive understanding of the arena battles in the outside world. Perhaps he was even more detailed than ordinary demon generals. After all, the information that demon concubine Wu Yen had was definitely not something that ordinary demon generals would know. This Wu Yen is really interesting. Half a month, huh? There is still half a month left. I can completely comprehend the parting sun spear within this period of time. A ray of starlight sword shadow flashed in front of him. However, it easily cut open the void space. There were 15,450 spirit seals with the word "sharp" on it. Separation Slayer Sword. The grade of this sword had not only broken through the grade of a spiritual treasure, but also its sharpness might not even be comparable to a mid-grade spiritual treasure. With this spiritual treasure, Ning Fan would not lose to a mid-divine transformation realm demon cultivator in terms of treasures. The shadow of the blood lightning whip turned into a ray of scarlet lightning and circled around Ning Fan's body. Spirit Shattering Whip. This whip was engraved with 15,450 spirit seals with the word lightning. Even if it lacked the blood lightning tribulation, this treasure had already broken through to the mid-grade spiritual treasure realm. The power of a whip could even injure the demon soul of a mid-divine transformation realm demon general. Spirit Shattering, Soul Shattering. Ning Fan's nascent soul had transformed into a demon soul using his demon power. However, this demon soul was different from the beast souls of ordinary demon cultivators. It was more similar to the primordial spirit of a human. It mainly cultivated magic power. Ning Fan was afraid that he would only be able to trigger the heavenly tribulation when his magic power reached the spirit transformation realm and cultivate his demon soul into a primordial spirit again. On his back, a pair of large purple crystal wings were engraved with ancient demon runes. All of them were the spirit seals with the word "fast." Ning Fan gently flapped his wings and revealed a satisfied expression. With 15,450 spirit seals, the Fuli wings could increase his speed to the standard of a peak divine transformation realm expert. It was not difficult for him to travel 30,000 li with a single teleportation. There was still half a month left. Ning Fan needed to get used to the battles of the spirit transformation realm. He needed to familiarize himself with the teleportation technique and the parting sun spear. Condense. He bent his palm and made a grabbing motion. At the bottom of the dark dragon pond, a golden spear slowly condensed. It was like a scorching sun. The condensed spear was not perfect. Ning Fan directly shattered the golden spear and condensed it again, turning it into a golden spear. However, his expression was calm and unruffled. This technique consumed a lot of demon power. However, Ning Fan was not using his own demon power. Instead, he was using the soul extraction technique. Under the soul extraction technique, his demon power was increased to 50,000 units, which was comparable to a mid-divine transformation realm expert. With the help of this secret technique, his confidence in fighting against a late divine transformation realm expert had increased. Even during normal times, using the soul extraction technique to cultivate magic techniques using the demon power of heaven and earth was definitely the fastest way to cultivate magic techniques. Ordinary divine transformation realm experts did not have the soul extraction technique. Thus, it was impossible for them to continuously use mid-grade divine transformation realm techniques. In half a month, Ning Fan was confident that he could cultivate the parting sun spear to the same level as Jin Kun in the past or even stronger. Since there were no peak divine transformation realm experts participating in the competition, it was not impossible for him to get the first place. Half a month had passed but Ning Fan did not show up. Above the Luo Yun, on the cloud platform that was 10,000 li wide, the 4 platforms were already filled with experts from the 9 divisions. In order to get on the cloud platform, one had to at least be at the late gold core realm. However, there were more than 100,000 experts with such cultivation bases. All of them were staring at the platform. There were a total of 107 divine transformation realm demon generals in the 9 divisions of the Lu clan. Of course, the 4 demon generals from their own world who were killed by Ning Fan were not included. As the 7th division, the Luo Yun clan had 8 divine transformation realm experts without counting the demons. As for the other divisions, they usually had more than 10 divine transformation realm experts. There were 12 demon concubines from the Spirit King Palace and 17 divine transformation realm experts from the demon world and the upper worlds, including Chu Shun and Wang Xiao. In total, there were a total of 145 divine transformation realm experts. It was difficult to compete for the 50 slots. Without divine transformation realm cultivation base, it was impossible for anyone to obtain a ranking. To nascent soul realm experts, it was impossible for them to obtain 50 slots. However, in the first round of selection, there was a great opportunity that nascent soul realm experts could compete for. Blood refining on the spirit platform. The design of the cloud platform was extremely mysterious. It was the product of Lu Daochun's painstaking efforts. The entire cloud platform was engraved with a grand formation. There was a circular secret formation. The power of the formation could move the clouds and mist, turning them into floating cloud platforms in the sky. They were called the spiritual platforms. If one devours the clouds of the spiritual platforms, one's demon blood could be improved. The higher the grade of the spiritual platforms, the better the effect of awakening one's blood. The spiritual platforms were worshipped as generals. It was not just an honor. The divine transformation realm experts of the Luo Yun clan who were worshipped as demon generals in the past were even qualified to be bestowed a purple-grade spiritual platform. They could devour the clouds and refine them to improve their bloodline. In this battle, nascent soul realm experts were not prohibited from participating. As long as one's strength was sufficient, their cultivation base was secondary. The reason why Lu Daochun made such a setting was to take care of Ning Fan's special situation. If Ning Fan failed to achieve the divine transformation realm, he would be a nascent soul realm expert. With his nascent soul realm cultivation base, he would still be qualified to participate in the battle. In the first round of selection, 200 people would be selected from the vast number of cultivators. These 200 people naturally included the 107 demon generals of the 9 divisions. Even the demon lords themselves could participate in the battle. In the second round of selection, only 100 people would be left. Among the 100 people, Another 50 would be selected to enter the third realm. The method of the first round of selection was to compete for the spiritual platforms and improve the grade of the spiritual platforms during the competition. For this competition, Lu Daochen had condensed 200 purple grade spiritual platforms. After continuously breaking them apart, they formed 25600 white grade spiritual platforms. Each of the spiritual platforms was made of white clouds. Each of them could only be stepped on by one person. If more than one person were to step on it, the spiritual platforms would shatter. 100,000 demon cultivators would first need to use their own traveling light. After the selection began, they would leave their seats and compete for a white grade spiritual platform. Those who did not have a spiritual platform would be eliminated. Those who had a white grade spiritual platform could improve their grade through battles. Only those who had a purple grade spiritual platform could pass the first round of selection. After passing the first round, they could devour the purple chi of the spiritual platforms to improve their bloodline. This was what really attracted nascent soul realm cultivators. Among the 200 people who were selected for the first round, 145 divine transformation realm cultivators would definitely pass. The remaining 55 people would be fought for by nascent soul realm cultivators. If one could become one of the 55 that stood out from the crowd, they would be able to devour a purple tier spirit platform and increase their demonic blood. Perhaps a nascent soul cultivator would have a chance to break through to the soul formation stage because of this increase in demonic blood. For this opportunity, it was worth it for a nascent soul cultivator to risk it all. 200 purple grade spirit platforms had been broken down into 25,600 white grade spirit platforms. This meant that only through 7 spirit platforms could the white grade spirit platforms be upgraded to purple grade. After defeating the opponent and seizing the beer platforms, the 2 beer platforms beneath his feet would automatically merge with the clouds and increase in grade. The first grade was white, and the grades after that were upgraded were red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and purple. After 7 rounds of advancement, there would only be a maximum of 200 purple grade spirit platforms. If the spirit platforms were damaged during the competition, perhaps less than 200 people would be able to pass the first round of elimination. The selection process had already been announced, but the battle had yet to begin. Lu Daochen's expression did not change, but his heart was filled with anxiety. He was waiting for Ning Fan's arrival. Lu Wana had already informed Lu Daochen that Ning Fan would come. Before Ning Fan arrives, Lu Daochen was unwilling to start the process. The demon cultivators on the cloud platforms were all old monsters. Every time they went into seclusion, they would usually enter seclusion for years or even tens of years. Thus, they did not mind waiting for a few more days. However, while they were waiting, many of them were whispering to each other. "Brother Chen, may I ask why the battle of the beer platforms hasn't begun yet? I'm getting impatient from waiting." "Do you know Liu Bei? Liu Bei? The 8th general of the Luo Yun sect? A nascent soul realm expert who could kill a divine transformation realm demon general? This person is too famous. How could I not know him?" "Liu Bei hasn't arrived yet. This cloud general is probably waiting for him. Rumor has it that this person entered the dragon pool 10 years ago and broke through to the divine transformation realm. Until now, he has yet to come out of seclusion. He once said that he would need 10 years to attain the divine transformation realm. I'm afraid that Lu Daochen won't start the battle before he comes out of seclusion." "What? Breaking through to the divine transformation realm? How can 10 years be enough? This Liu Bei will never be able to attain the divine transformation realm. It's a small matter that he can't attain the divine transformation realm. It's really a waste of time for us to wait for him here." "Shoo! Lower your voice. Even if that Liu Bei hasn't reached the divine transformation realm, he is still not someone that we nascent soul realm cultivators can afford to offend. Since Concubine Z of the Spirit King Palace and Crown Prince Chu Shun of the Demon World are not dissatisfied with Lu Daochen's decision, we can't have any objections. Let's just wait." In the venue, many people were whispering to each other. However, in the end, they could only wait helplessly. On the seats of the cleansing flame, Wang Xiao harumphed impatiently. He, a dignified late divine transformation realm demon general, was actually waiting here for Liu Bei. This person is really arrogant, deliberately mystifying things. He's just a nascent soul realm ant. How dare he make us divine transformation realm cultivators wait here? He really doesn't know what's good for him. General Wang, please calm down. Since we have set up a battle in the Luo Yun arena, we have to give Lu Daochen some face. A silver-armored demon general beside him advised. Some face? Wang Xiao sneered. If this Lu Daochen doesn't have the support of the Spirit King Palace, there's no need for me to give him any face. As for this Liu Bei, he was audacious enough to kill General Li Ban and General Jin Kun. There's no need for me to give him any face at all. Moreover, I'm a dignified demon general from the upper realm. Although my cultivation is not as good as Chu Shun's, my status is incomparable to this person. This person actually dared to order me to get the first place in this battle. How hateful! Of course, I want to get the first place, but it's not because of his order. Wang Xiao was very angry. From the moment he arrived at the land of slumber, the realm gate had collapsed and his demon body was destroyed. It wasn't easy for him to reconstruct his demon body, but he still had to suffer the cold eyes of this demon crown prince. Demon crown prince? What a great reputation! He's just a little demon from the lower realm. What's there to be proud of? As for that Liu Bei, I don't know what kind of tricks he used to harm General Li Ban and the others. General, for the sake of the realm map, please bear with it for the time being. The silver-armored demon general advised again. Bear with it? Good. I'll bear with it. Wang Zhao's cold and sharp eyes swept across the seats of the cleansing flame to the seats of the Luo Yun arena. His eyes landed on a purple-clothed girl with a childish face and big breasts. He pointed at her and immediately sneered. Zhu Qin. Is that girl Liu Bei's woman? Lu wants ugh. Wang Zhao's eyes suddenly turned cold. Chapter 275. He was still waiting. He waited for 3 days but Ning Fan was still nowhere to be seen. Lu Daochen's eyes finally showed a hint of worry. Based on his understanding of Ning Fan, he wouldn't be late since he said he would come. However, he had waited for 3 more days and Ning Fan was still nowhere to be seen. He was afraid that he was held back by something. Could it be that he reached the bottleneck right before the battle and officially broke through to the divine transformation realm? Lu Daochen smiled bitterly. This was definitely a possibility. Without the appearance of the heavenly tribulation, he naturally didn't know that Ning Fan had successfully broken through to the divine transformation realm. However, he guessed that something must have happened since Ning Fan couldn't participate in the first round of selection. Imperial concubine Zi and Chu Shun became impatient. They had given Lu Daochen enough face by waiting for 3 more days. Since Liu Bei didn't show up, there was no point in waiting any longer. Lu Daochen, if you don't start the battle now, it will be cancelled. I'm going to use force to sweep through the Luo Yun sect and seize the map. Imperial concubine Zi's eyes darkened and her tone was threatening. That's right. A mere nascent soul realm ant is wasting too much time. Chu Shun's tone was cold. The words of the 2 peak divine transformation realm experts in the Luo Yun sect were immediately echoed by many experts on the scene. Lu Daochen gritted his teeth. The situation was pressing. The wisest decision was to immediately announce the start of the first round to ease the tension between the parties. However, if Ning Fan doesn't participate, that person would definitely lose his spot. His years of waiting would be in vain. What's the point of doing all this? Lu Daochen did not give in. For a moment, the cloud platform was filled with the atmosphere of war. At this critical moment, a cold voice resounded. I have a compromise. I wonder if everyone is willing to listen to it. The voice of the person who spoke was not loud. However, the moment his voice resounded, the sea of consciousness of all the cultivators below the mid-divine transformation realm trembled. Their ears buzzed and the sound lingered for a long time. Countless demon cultivators' expressions changed and they all looked at the person who spoke. How could an ordinary person have such means? That direction was where the seats of the Pure Fire Division were located. A silver-robed, white-haired demon general stood proudly. His late divine transformation realm aura surged around him. I am the demon general of the Ice Owl clan, Wang Xiao. I have a suggestion and I hope everyone will listen to it. His words were decisive, not giving anyone the chance to refute him at all. However, with his status, he had the qualifications to say these words. What? This person is the leader of the 10 generals that descended from the higher realm this time, from the true spirit realm's Ice Owl clan, General Wang Xiao. What does he suggest? The sounds of discussion rose, but after Lu Daochen coughed, it slowly quieted down. Lu Daochen frowned as he looked at Wang Xiao, wondering what kind of tricks this person was playing. I wonder if General Wang has any suggestions? I have seen all of your arguments. The crux of the dispute is merely Liu Bei. It's understandable that Yun Jiang wants Liu Bei to participate in the arena battle. However, it's impossible for us, 100,000 demon race members, to continue waiting bitterly for a mere nascent soul realm cultivator like Liu Bei. Therefore, I have a suggestion that I hope Yun Jiang will listen to. Wang Zhao's tone was overbearing, causing Lu Daochen to frown. What suggestion? Liu Bei himself can't come, but he can let his wife and children fight on his behalf. The demon ancestor has taught us that if this demon breaks the law, his wife and children can make up for it. Similarly, since this Liu Bei can't come, he can let his relatives participate in the competition on his behalf. When he himself arrives, they can replace his relatives to fight on his behalf. In this way, we won't have to wait bitterly. Wang Zhao's words made many demons secretly nod their heads. There was indeed such a tradition in the demon race. For a moment, voices of agreement could be heard. What General Wang said is right. We have already given Luo Yun enough face by waiting for Liu Bei here for 3 days. Since Liu Bei can't come, let his relatives fight on his behalf. Hurry up and start the first round of the selection. Don't waste any more time. Who is Liu Bei's relative? Step forward now. Otherwise, Liu Bei's qualification to participate in the competition will be taken away. Many demons from the Luo Yun clan also agreed with Wang Zhao's suggestion. However, no one stepped forward to participate in the competition on Ning Fan's behalf. Only a few demons who knew about the decline of Liu Bei's clan knew that Liu Bei did not have any wife or children. Lu Daochen's brows were tightly knitted together. Wang Zhao's sudden suggestion seemed to be trying to mediate the conflict between the two parties. However, it seemed like he was secretly plotting something. However, Lu Daochen did not have the time to think through Wang Zhao's intentions at all. Because after the suggestion was made, even Imperial concubine Zi agreed with it. Chu Shun was the only one who gave Wang Xiao a deep look. There was no joy or anger in his eyes. There was only disdain. This Wang Xiao has an impetuous mental state. It's difficult for him to become an expert. My status is not as good as his. However, when I ascend to the heavenly demon world in the future, I will be qualified to compete with the elites of the upper world. However, those elites will not include people like Wang Xiao. Chu Shun had the pride of being undefeatable in 1,000 battles. He was the son of the demon sovereign of the lower world. Along the way, he had continuously challenged experts. He stepped on skeletons and climbed towards a higher goal. He was arrogant, powerful, and condescending. He looked down on Wang Xiao and Liu Bei. Even in this place of slumber, there was not a single person who could make him look sideways. Your Highness, this Wang Xiao seems to be a little restless. I wonder what his suggestion is. Should we reject him? A divine transformation realm servant of the demon world transmitted his voice to His Highness. No need. No matter what Wang Zhao's purpose is or who he wants to target, there is nothing to worry about. Besides, this suggestion is indeed not bad. Let Liu Bei's relative fight on his behalf. It will save us a lot of time. But I heard that Liu Bei doesn't have any relatives. He doesn't have any relatives. What does it have to do with me? Chu Shun suddenly stood up and released his aura. It was as if he was going to snatch the world map by force if they did not start the selection. This was a threat. He was forcing Lu Daochen to submit. Lu Daochen heaved a long sigh. Although Wang Zhao's suggestion was good, Liu Bei didn't have any relatives to fight on his behalf. Teacher, don't worry. Liu Bei has a wife. Liu, who was dressed in purple, walked towards Lu Daochen gracefully. A fragrant wind blew. Are you talking about the 2 gold core realm demon maids that he left in the general's mansion? Let them fight on his behalf? Lu Daochen shook his head helplessly. The Wind Lady and the Tea Lady were not strong enough. It was useless for them to go. Their cultivation is not strong enough. I, Lu Wun'er, am strong enough. I am Liu Bei's wife. Lu smiled and stepped on the sky. A pair of charming purple flame phoenix wings appeared on her back. Lotus flowers bloomed with every step she took. A fragrant wind blew and purple flames burned. Her appearance was alluring to begin with, but after activating the phoenix wings spiritual outfit, she had an otherworldly temperament, causing the hearts of the beast cultivators who saw her appearance to thump. What a beautiful woman! She was like a phoenix immortal who had fallen to the mortal world. She was obviously noble, but she also had the deep affection of a fox immortal. It was a kind of contradictory beauty. Her face was young and tender, but she had the temperament of a ripe peach. She was as cold as ice, but there was a flame of passion hidden in her heart. She looked down on all men, but there was always a figure hidden in her heart. Liu Bei has a wife. I, Lu Wun'er, am his wife. I am willing to represent him in the first round of the selection. The aura of a late nascent soul realm expert slowly spread out. The phoenix wings of a peak earth profound realm expert made countless experts' eyes burn with passion. Even Chu Shun and Imperial concubine Z were stunned. It was difficult for them to obtain such high-quality spiritual equipment. With the phoenix wings on this woman's body, not even a spirit-severing realm expert could hurt her. Only the Earth General of the Lai Tu tribe's eyes were filled with anger. With just a glance, he could tell that the phoenix wings belonged to his subordinate, Su Ri. Su Ri was killed by Liu Bei and the wings were given to his beloved wife to use as spiritual equipment. What a romantic Liu Bei. He deserves to die. Lu Wun did not know that she had attracted the attention and admiration of many men at this moment. She also did not know how many people were drooling over her phoenix wings spiritual armor and her body. She also did not know if there were people who hated her in the dark and wanted to plot against her. Lu Wun also did not know that when she said, I am Liu Bei's wife, countless men were envious of Ning Fan's luck with women. With such a wife, what else can a man ask for? She did not care about it. She felt a little shy. After all, it was her first time admitting that she was Liu Bei's wife in front of 100,000 demon cultivators. The women of the demon race were always bold. However, Lu Wun seemed to be too bold. Lu Sheng shook his head with a smile. Since his sister was so deeply in love with Liu Bei, he certainly would not stop her. The only thing he was worried about was whether Lu Wun would be in danger if she represented Ning Fan in the selection. There were only 55 slots for nascent soul realm cultivators to compete for. However, there were many peak nascent soul realm cultivators present. With the Phoenix Wings spiritual armor which was at the peak profound earth realm, Lu Wun's speed was comparable to a divine transformation realm cultivator. Thus, her life would not be in any danger. However, she was still a late nascent soul realm cultivator. Her speed did not mean that her attacks were strong. It was still unknown whether she could seize the clouds and enter the spirit ascension platform from a peak nascent soul realm cultivator. However, Lu Daochen felt relieved. When his gaze fell upon the phoenix wings, his face immediately revealed a gratified, regretful and ashamed expression. What a good pair of phoenix wings. These phoenix wings actually have the ability to attack, defend and escape in one. Even I can't refine such a pair of phoenix wings. With this pair of wings, one can even slightly resist a divine transformation realm cultivator and protect herself. With the help of the other 7 divine transformation realm cultivators of my Luo Yun sect, it won't be difficult for Wan's spiritual platform to advance to the purple rank. Lu Daochen secretly gave an order to the 7 Luo Yun demon generals, agreeing to Lu Wan's words and actions. With this pair of wings, she could compete for the slots. In this way, even though Ning Fan was late, his slot was preserved. At the center of the venue, 25600 white-rank spiritual platforms were floating in the sky like floating clouds. Each of the demon cultivators was eager to have a go. The first round of selection was finally going to begin. As soon as Lu Daochen gives the order to begin, all the demon cultivators would move to the center of the venue at their fastest speed and choose a white-rank spiritual platform to get on. After the first round begins, only the 25,600 demon cultivators with the fastest speed would be able to snatch a white-rank spiritual platform. The rest of them would be eliminated. Begin! Lu Daochen's voice echoed across 10,000 li. At the same time, he turned into a wisp of green smoke and flew towards the sky of the venue. At this moment, 100,000 rays of light rushed towards the center of the venue. The Divine Transformation Realm cultivators teleported 10,000 li in just a split second. Each of them occupied a direction and set foot on a spiritual platform. Among the 145 Divine Transformation Realm rays of light, Lu Wen turned into a wisp of purple smoke. She was not any weaker than the others and also managed to snatch a white-rank spiritual platform. Inwardly, she was delighted. As long as she has the phoenix wings, she would certainly be able to help Ning Fan keep his slot. However, there was one thing that she did not tell anyone. This phoenix wings spiritual equipment was indeed powerful. It could be said to be the pinnacle of Lu Wan's work in life. However, it was precisely because of how powerful it was that she could not completely refine this pair of wings by herself. She had been waiting for Ning Fan to help her refine this pair of wings. However, before Ning Fan came out from his seclusion, she had no choice but to use this pair of wings to help Ning Fan keep his slot. She felt a sharp pain in her heart and her face turned pale. No one knew how painful it was to forcefully activate the phoenix wings. She did not care about it. Her current identity was Ning Fan's wife. She did not know how much pain Ning Fan had suffered along the way. However, she knew that if she could not bear the pain, she would not be worthy to be Ning Fan's woman. 1 breath, 2 breaths. 10 breaths passed. Each of the 25,600 spiritual platforms was occupied by a demon cultivator. Among them, there were 145 Divine Transformation Realm cultivators, 1,900 Peak Nascent Soul Realm cultivators, and the rest were all Late Nascent Soul Realm cultivators. After all the spiritual platforms were occupied, a light screen that stretched for 5,000 li rose from the center of the venue, enveloping the entire venue. At the moment when the formation light rose, all the demon cultivators who did not have a spiritual platform were teleported out of the venue. One after another, the demon cultivators were teleported out of the venue with their faces covered in dirt. They were speechless when they saw the formation light. There were even some who were unwilling to accept the fact that their spiritual platforms were seized by someone else due to a moment of carelessness. They wanted to break the formation light and rush into the venue to seize their platforms again. However, every single attack that landed on the formation light was easily blocked. No nascent soul realm attack could shake the formation light. Even a late spirit severing realm attack could not completely destroy the formation light. A mortal void grade formation. This Lu Daochen has actually set up such a terrifying formation on the cloud platform. For the first time, Chu Shun's expression changed. He began to take Lu Daochen seriously. This person's cultivation base was not worth mentioning, but his Tao of formation technique was far beyond his imagination. Rumor has it that this person is extremely knowledgeable in formations, pill refinement, divination, spirit augmentation, weapon refinement, and many other aspects. Today, Chu Shun realized that it was indeed true. No wonder the Spirit King Palace took a fancy to this person. I've underestimated him before. When the formation light rose, it was another signal. The battle for the spiritual platforms has begun. Next, the 25,600 cultivators would have to fight each other in a chaotic battle. In the end, only 200 of them would be able to obtain a purple-grade spiritual platform. Almost at the same time when the formation light rose, each of the demon cultivators stepped on the floating platform and launched their attacks at their opponents. Outside the cloud platform, a white-robed silhouette appeared with a flash of light smoke. It did not alarm anyone. Looking at the chaotic battle at the center of the cloud platform, he smiled bitterly. I didn't expect that after comprehending the parting sun spear, I would unexpectedly activate the true yang energy, causing half of my yin fusion divine star to gradually reach perfection. That's why I couldn't make it to the first round of the assessment. Now, it seems like Wan Er is taking my place. The corner of the young man's mouth curved into a smile. His heart felt warm. Lu Wan Er was really good to him. After witnessing Lu Wan Er's tyrannical means, he felt slightly relieved. That Fire Phoenix spiritual equipment was not as simple as flying. It was a combination of attack, defense, and escape. Its speed was so fast that it could activate the fire barrier to defend itself and the sea of fire to attack its enemies. Under that sea of fire, even a few peak nascent soul realm cultivators were defeated. I haven't seen you for 11 years. Wan Er's strength has improved. Ning Fan smiled. However, his eyes suddenly turned solemn. The wind blew. This wind made people feel uneasy. In the wind, a silver-armored demon general peeked at Lu Wan Er. That glance contained killing intent. But at the next moment, his eyes were as calm as before. That person seems to be the demon general from the upper world that Wang Xiao brought here. That killing intent. Was it an illusion? Ning Fan frowned. Chapter 276. Countless cultivators were forcefully teleported out of the battlefield by the formation light because they were defeated and their spiritual platforms were seized. After 157 breaths of time, the first purple-grade spiritual platform appeared. Wang Xiao stepped on the purple-grade spiritual platform and left the formation proudly. He returned to the outside of the battlefield. The purple spiritual platform under his feet was a sign of his astonishing strength. 157 breaths of time to condense a purple-grade spiritual platform. This undoubtedly meant that apart from Chu Shun and Imperial Concubine Zi, he was the strongest cultivator on the battlefield. He took a step forward and the spiritual platform shattered into purple chi, which was then absorbed into his stomach. After refining it, his eyes immediately widened and he murmured in surprise. This purple chi is quite extraordinary. It's almost comparable to a 5 revolutions blood awakening pill. Wang Xiao felt that this purple chi was indeed extraordinary. It was enough to increase the grade of his bloodline. Unfortunately, he had already awakened his blood 3 times. Half of the purple chi's effect was wasted. A purple-grade spiritual platform is only effective on demons that have awakened their blood twice. If that's the case, there's no need for Zhu Qin to kill people and seize their spiritual platforms. I'll just let him kill Lu Wan. I'll take revenge on Liu Bei's wife first. I wonder how Liu Bei would feel if he knew that his wife died today. After Wang Xiao, Imperial Concubine Yao, Lu Jiefan, and the other late divine transformation realm cultivators also stepped onto the purple spiritual platforms. After 300 breaths of time, 144 of the 145 divine transformation realm cultivators had successfully broken through and left the battlefield. There were less than 800 people still fighting inside the formation light. The weakest among them was a yellow-grade spiritual platform, while the most had already broken through to the blue-grade. Lu Wan stepped on the blue-grade spiritual platform and used her phoenix wings to control the purple flames to fight against a great cultivator for the blue-grade spiritual platform. Once she succeeded, she would be able to break through to the blue-grade. The purple phoenix fire wings of a peak earth profound realm cultivator could borrow the spiritual energy of heaven and earth to send out waves of fire. Under the sweeping of the fire waves, the great cultivator was struggling to resist with his magical treasures. His strength was exhausted and several of his magical treasures were destroyed by the purple flames. It was only a matter of time before he was defeated. The tyrannical power of the phoenix wings made the great cultivator feel bitter. In the end, he was finally struck down by a wave of fire. He sighed inwardly and jumped off the spiritual platform to admit his defeat. He was then sent out safely by the formation light. Lu Wanner's complexion was pale. She gently wiped away the sweat on her temples and changed her hand seals. She activated the 2 blue-grade spirit platforms and fused them into a blue-grade spirit platform. Her mouth curved into a smile. As long as I fight for a blue grade spirit platform in the last battle, I will be able to advance to the purple grade. Blue grade? Where is it? Lu Wanner's beautiful eyes scanned the area. Apart from herself, there were already 7 blue grade spirit platform holders present. 6 of them were grand cultivators, and 4 of them had vast auras. Lu Wanner knew that she didn't have much chance of winning even with her phoenix wings, but the other 2 were nothing to worry about. She could win. However, the 7th one with a blue spirit platform was a soul formation cultivator in silver armor. After Lu Wanner condensed a blue grade spirit platform, the spirit severing realm cultivator sneered. Lu Wanner was very curious. A soul formation cultivator's cultivation base was very strong, so why hadn't he condensed the purple grade and left after so much time had passed? Divine Transformation Realm. What is he waiting for? I remember that this Divine Transformation Realm expert is called Zhu Qin. He is a demon general from the upper realm. Outside the venue, Lu Daochun's gaze became sharper and sharper. Out of the 145 soul formation cultivators, only 144 had left the battlefield. There was still one person who had yet to come out. It wasn't because he couldn't seize the spirit platform, but because he was waiting for something. That person was Wang Zhao's general, Zhu Qin. General Wang Zhao, why did your subordinate, Zhu Qin, stop attacking after his spiritual platform rose to the blue grade? What's his purpose in staying in the formation light? Could it be General Wang Zhao's idea? Lu Daochun felt somewhat uneasy as the wind blew. Oh no. He probably wants to kill someone. Wang Zhao sneered. Kill someone? Lu Daochun's heart skipped a beat as if he had thought of something. At this moment, Zhu Qin made his move. Like a raging wave, a silver light flashed. No one could see how he made his move, but the silver light had already eliminated 7 grand cultivators with blue-grade spirit platforms. The expressions of the 7 grand cultivators' demon nascent souls changed drastically. They hurriedly jumped down from the spirit platform and teleported away. How ruthless! After the 7 of them left, the 7 blue-grade spirit platforms floated quietly in the air. However, Zhu Qin didn't even look at the spirit platforms, as if he didn't care about the purple-grade spirit platform. He stepped on the spirit platform and stared at Lu Wanner coldly. You finally reached the blue-grade spirit platform. I've been waiting for you for a long time. The moment he stepped on the spirit platform, his demon chi turned into a silver crane that stood in the sky. Under the cry of the crane, countless silver cracks appeared on the surface of the crane. The cracks spread out in all directions with the force of a strong wind. They quickly spread out and pierced through the sky. Any nascent soul realm cultivator who was caught in the silver light would be torn apart by the silver lines. Their physical bodies would immediately be torn apart. Their armors would be shattered and their supreme-grade magical treasures would be destroyed. Each of the demon nascent souls revealed a terrified expression and jumped down from the spirit platforms. They no longer cared about the first round of the selection and left the battlefield under the protection of the formation light. Terrifying. It's too terrifying. A spirit-severing realm demon general's means were unparalleled. There were even a few nascent soul realm demons who lost their physical bodies. They couldn't escape from their demon nascent souls in time and were immediately buried in the silver light. This demon general Zhu Qin was extremely daring. He ignored the rules of the battle and wanted to kill someone. Not good. Let's run away quickly. One after another, the old monsters fled. Zhu Qin didn't even look at the others. His eyes were only fixed on Lu Wanner. The silver light in his palm became even brighter. The innate ability of the Silver Crane clan, Apprehensive Wind and Crane. Zhu Qin burst into laughter. With a claw of his hand, all the silver lines turned around and swept towards Lu Wanner. Pieces of the sky were torn into pieces. The spirit platforms were shattered. General Zhu Qin, what do you mean by this? Lu Wanner's beautiful eyes turned cold. Liu Bei killed a demon general of the upper world. You're his wife. You should die in his place. What? Lu Wanner was shocked. This divine transformation realm demon general actually dared to kill her in public. How dare you? The expressions of Lu Daochun, Lu Sheng and Yao Fei changed. They attacked at the same time, but the combined strength of the three of them couldn't break the formation light. Lu Daochun's expression changed drastically. Once this mortal void grand formation was activated, even he wouldn't be able to break it unless the first round of selection was over. Lu Wanner couldn't be saved from the outside world. Could it be that he had to watch his proudest disciple die in front of him? Zhu Qin, if you dare to hurt my disciple, even if you're from the Silver Crane clan and the Ice Owl clan of the True Spirit Realm, you will still die. Lu Daochun's angry roar couldn't shake Zhu Qin's determination at all. He had received Wang Zhao's order to kill an ant from the lower world. What was there to worry about? Lu Wanner's expression changed. She crazily activated her phoenix wings, pushing the power of them to the maximum. At this moment, Lu Wanner was obviously a member of the Fox clan, but she actually condensed the shadow of a purple phoenix. Her face quickly turned pale while the shadow of the purple phoenix became more and more solid. She formed a series of hand seals with difficulty and spat out an illusory purple flame from her mouth. The purple flame was obviously illusory, but when it burned, it actually burned the silver lines of Zhu Qin's divine transformation realm attack into nothingness. Zhu Qin's expression changed. He had never expected that his innate ability and all-out attack would be blocked by a late divine transformation realm woman. The expressions of Lu Daochun and the others eased. They couldn't break the formation light, but as long as Lu Wanner gives up on the selection and jumps down from the platform, she would be protected by the formation light and teleported out safely. Lu Daochun would help her vent her anger after that. However, Lu Wanner did not jump down from the platform. She did not run away. Her gaze fell on the blue-grade spiritual platform in the distance. She bit her lips and flew towards it with all her might. She can't run away. She represents Ning Fan. At this moment, she is Ning Fan's wife. As long as she fuses with the blue-grade spiritual platform faster than Zhu Qin and ascends to the purple grade, she would be able to leave with the purple-grade spiritual platform. By doing so, she would be able to preserve Ning Fan's qualification. She flapped her phoenix wings and flew towards the blue-grade spiritual platform, which was 1,000 zhang away. When Lu Daochun and the others saw this scene, all of them were dumbfounded. Silly girl. What a silly girl. Why do you still care about the purple-grade spiritual platform at this moment? Yes, she is a silly girl. If she wasn't a silly girl, how would she fall in love with a member of a foreign race? She wanted to give it her all. She was not sure if the other party wanted to destroy Ning Fan's qualification. In any case, she wanted to preserve Ning Fan's qualification. She was getting closer and closer. She was only 100 zhang away from the lonely blue-grade spiritual platform. However, at this moment, a ray of silver light suddenly shot out and blocked her way. I didn't expect you to be able to use the ability of the Phoenix clan with the bloodline of the Fox clan. However, it seems like you're barely able to use this technique. I'm afraid you won't be able to use it again. If you had taken the opportunity to run away just now, it would have been fine. However, you chose not to run away. Aren't you looking down on me? Do you really think that I can't kill you? Zhu Qin's eyes seemed to have turned into pure silver. The shadow of the silver crane behind him grew twice its size. The power of the silver threads on his fingertips increased by more than 2 folds. It was enough to crush ordinary divine transformation realm cultivators. You can die now. No one can save you. If you want to blame someone, blame your husband, Liu Bei. Zhu Qin's eyes were cold. He was not worried that someone would save Lu Wanner. The power of the formation light was so strong that even a late divine transformation realm demon concubine could not break it. Naturally, no one could enter this place and save Lu Wanner. He was careless just now, and this lady happened to block his attack. He would never have the chance to do so again. Lu Wanner must die this time. Zhu Qin firmly believed in it. However, this firm belief turned into disbelief at the next moment. A trace of fear emerged in their hearts without any warning. At the same time, this kind of feeling swept across the 100,000 demon cultivators present at the scene. It was especially so for the divine transformation realm cultivators. The higher their cultivation base, the more terrifying they felt the aura. Along with a cracking sound, The mortal void grade formation light that was strong enough to block the attack of a late divine transformation realm cultivator seemed to have been melted by someone. At the place where the formation light was broken, a purple light shone brightly. A trace of purple-gold sandstorm slowly flowed out from the fingertip of a white-robed young man. No one could see how he did it. However, when Chu Shun and concubine Zi saw the purple-gold sandstorm, their hearts trembled. It was the first time their hearts trembled since they came to the land of slumber. What is that purple-gold sandstorm? It gave people an extremely horrifying feeling. After the formation light was broken, it recovered immediately. The white-robed young man dispersed the purple-gold sandstorm, but his eyes were like ice that would never melt for 10,000 years. He took a step forward and stood in front of Lu Wan. Then, he clawed at the silver crane in the sky with his 5 fingers. The silver lines that filled the sky immediately collapsed. When this figure appeared, Yao Yuan's eyes were filled with a hint of fiery respect. Lu Sheng and Lu Daochen were relieved. Concubine Yao had a reproachful expression. Lu Zongyun and Lu Haochen both shivered at the same time. The moment Lu Tianming, who was hiding in the crowd and watching the show, saw this person, he suddenly recalled the terrifying killing intent that this person had when he entered the prefecture and gave away the heads of 3 divine transformation realm cultivators. Liu Bei. It's him. He's here. This is great. He's going to kill people. Wang Zhao's expression changed. He slammed the table and stood up in disbelief. He's Liu Bei. How did he break into this formation? This is impossible. Even I can't break this formation from the outside. The silver lines were broken. Zhu Qin could not imagine that his Silver Crane clan's innate talent was broken so easily. Facing the white-robed young man who was approaching them step by step, for the first time in his life, a trace of palpitating panic rose in his heart. Who are you? You're asking me who I am? Ning Fan's eyes flashed with cold light as if he had heard the most ridiculous question. He took a step forward and turned into purple smoke. With an unimaginable speed, he instantly appeared in front of Zhu Qin and grabbed him with one of his hands. The force of this grab directly broke Zhu Qin's first-level Jade Life Realm Evil Spirit Protective Shield and grabbed his arm. Second level of Jade Life Realm. Zhu Qin's face was filled with shock. At the next moment, he felt extreme pain. Ning Fan's grab tore off one of Zhu Qin's arms using an extremely bloody method. Broken bones and blood splattered everywhere. Under the intense pain, Zhu Qin's face turned pale and he hurriedly retreated. His heart was filled with both shock and anger. Who is it? Who exactly is this person? This aura force is stronger than anyone else here. However, I have no grudge against him. Why would he hurt me? You're asking me who I am? Ning Fan took a step forward. His aura force rose with each step he took. When he took the 9th step, the great force of the heavenly cycle turned into rays of sword light and dispersed. At this moment, Zhu Qin coughed out blood crazily. He was actually injured by this great force sword. Forming a sword with 9 steps and injuring a divine transformation realm cultivator. What kind of technique is this? This person is definitely not a nobody. Who is he? You don't even know who I am, but you still dare to hurt my wife. Ning Fan clenched his 5 fingers. Traces of sunlight turned into a golden spear. Mid-grade divine transformation realm demonic technique, parting sun spear. However, this spear seemed to have something different about it. Zhu Qin could not see it. However, the power of this spear was almost comparable to a high-grade divine transformation realm demonic technique. With a slap, the golden spear turned into a blazing golden rainbow and shot towards Zhu Qin. Parting sun spear? It's impossible for the parting sun spear to have such power. At the moment when the golden light shot out, Zhu Qin's expression changed drastically. He wanted to display his demonic technique to block it, but Ning Fan stopped him with a finger. This heaven-sealing technique was executed without leaving any trace. No one could tell the origin of this technique. It was as if the stone warrior had recognized what happened today and would never happen again. The golden spear penetrated his body and turned into thousands of rays of sunlight. Each of them carried the power of the heavenly spirit and was as scorching as the sun. After being hit by the golden spear, Zhu Qin let out a miserable shriek. Golden yang flames rose from his body and began to melt rapidly. In just a moment, he turned into ashes under the burning sunlight. He could clearly feel that the true yang power of the sunlight in the parting sun spear was excessively dense. Impossible! How can there be so much true yang power? Within the golden light, Zhu Qin's silver crane-shaped demon souls were already trembling in fear. They desperately leaped out of the golden light and fled towards the outside of the spiritual platform. He had no idea who this person was. The only thing he knew was that this person was so strong that killing him was as easy as stepping on an ant. If he didn't escape from the spiritual platform and escape under the protection of the formation light, he would definitely die. "General Wang, save me." Zhu Qin looked at Wang Xiao and begged for help. However, Wang Xiao couldn't break this grand formation. How could he save him? "Want to leave? Did I allow you to leave? Get back here now." His words were like heavenly thunder exploding in Zhu Qin's ears, causing them to tremble violently. The demon souls who were fleeing desperately coughed out mouthfuls of blood. With just a moment of delay, Ning Fan had already turned into smoke and approached Zhu Qin. With a single palm, he held Zhu Qin's weak demon souls in his hand. Zhu Qin was terrified to death. He was a dignified divine transformation realm demon general. How could he be so vulnerable in the hands of this person? "You asked me who I am? Let me tell you. I am Lu Wun'er's husband, Liu Bei." Soul search. Zhu Qin's demon souls were on the verge of shattering. Amidst the excruciating pain, they were filled with fear, confusion, and disbelief. This person is the nascent soul realm ant that General Wang Xiao mentioned, Liu Bei. Liu Bei. He is actually Liu Bei. The person whom I was ordered to kill is actually the wife of such an expert. If I knew that this person is so powerful, I wouldn't have dared to touch Lu Wan, or even with Wang Zhao's order. Or not. Nascent soul realm. Spirit-severing realm. Spare me. Zhu Qin used the last bit of his strength to beg for mercy. However, their consciousness was erased by Ning Fan's brutal soul search. After swallowing their souls in one gulp, the coldness in his eyes became even more intense. So that's how it is. These Qin immortals were ordered by Wang Xiao. Wang Xiao. Ning Fan remained silent. He took a step forward and returned to Lu Wun'er's side. He gently hugged her in his arms and wiped away the blood stain at the corner of her mouth. At this moment, because of the Qin immortals, there were no longer any powerful cultivators remaining in the formation. Ning Fan flicked his sleeve. Countless spiritual platforms gathered and fused into Lu Wun'er's spiritual platform, turning into a platform of clouds and mist which was shrouded in purple qi. This spiritual platform was made up of 56 purple platforms. After all the purple platforms merged into one, the formation light shattered. Lu Wun'er nestled in Ning Fan's arms. She was a little worried. She was worried that Ning Fan would blame her for risking her life to pursue the blue-grade spiritual platform. Previously, she was scolded for using her blood spirit attachment. "I'm sorry." She apologized softly. "No, it's my fault. Thank you. Thank you for keeping the quota for me. Thank you for sacrificing so much for me. Now, I will use this quota to help you vent your anger. Don't be impulsive." Lu Wun'er wanted to persuade him, but Ning Fan had already let go of her. He turned around and looked at Wang Xiao. Then he took a step forward. The clouds and mist that were made up of 56 purple platforms expanded rapidly and turned into a purple cloud platform that stretched for 1,000 li high up in the sky. On the purple platform, Ning Fan looked down at the common people. He flicked his sleeve and pointed at Wang Xiao as if he was pointing at an animal. "Disdain. The first round has ended. The second round begins now. I, Lu, will accept anyone's challenge on this purple platform. Wang Xiao, if you want the world map, get your ass up here and die." "How dare you?" Wang Xiao was enraged. This young man is too arrogant. How dare he kill my subordinates, Zhu Qin, and search the souls of the members of the True Spirit clan? He has already committed a serious crime. Wang Xiao wished he could immediately rush forward and tear him apart. However, before he could even move, 3 early divine transformation realm demon generals stepped forward and cupped their fists at him. "General, please allow us to kill this young man and avenge the deaths of Li Ban, Jin Kun, and Zhu Qin." "I'll allow it." Wang Zhao's eyes turned cold. These 3 were the last 3 early divine transformation realm demon generals he brought with him. Chapter 277. A cloud platform hung high above the Luo Yun sect. Above the cloud platform was a 1,000-li purple platform that Ning Fan had condensed with a single step. The 3 early spirit-severing realm demon generals of the upper world turned into smoke and teleported to the purple platform, looking at Ning Fan with disdain. "You've killed the demon general of the upper realm. Your crimes are monstrous. Bow your head and accept your death." His words were like swords, his aura rising. The gazes of the 3 generals focused. Behind each of them, 3 demonic blood phantoms, namely the Jade Wolf, the Snow Python, and the Revolving Tortoise, appeared. The 3 phantoms were over 1,000 feet tall. The moment they condensed, a gale swept up in the sky, thunder appeared in the sky, and the clouds scattered. A surge of true spirit blood chi disturbed the cloud platform, making the blood of the 100,000 monsters below the soul formation level tremble as if they were scared. True blood. The might of a true spirit. Similar to Li Ban and the others, these 3 people possessed true blood-grade true spirit bloodlines. Moreover, the 3 of them changed their hand seals and their auras merged together. The 3 phantoms slowly merged together and the aura they emitted rose rapidly. It wasn't at the level of normal true blood. The entire 9 tribes of the Lu clan had 107 soul formation cultivators. There were only a few of them with true blood. Those who had remnant blood were considered heaven's favorites in this land of slumber. Lu Zhan, Lu Qing, and the other all-heaven cloud demon generals were forced to take several steps back under the pressure. Only then did their bloodline fear dissipate. Luo Yun's second general, Lu Xing, changed his hand seals and took half a step back to dispel the pressure. However, his expression was grave. The first general, Lu Ao, was a brawny man in red armor. His beard was short like a thorn and his eyes were serious. He was already half a step away from breaking through to the mid-divine transformation realm. This person took a step forward and the red light trembled, scattering the true spirit pressure. However, his expression was not relaxed. The soul formation cultivators at the fragmented blood level were already having a hard time dealing with it. Those nascent soul cultivators and golden core cultivators with mixed or mortal blood couldn't resist the power of the true spirit blood at all. Unless one was at the mid-divine transformation stage, who else would be able to remain calm under the pressure of such a powerful true blood? Wang Zhao's eyes were cold as he sneered at the 3 demon generals behind him. Fu Lang, Yudu, and Gujia. Even though the 3 of them are early demon generals, they have cultivated the might fusion technique. With the might of their true blood fused together, I'm afraid just the pressure alone will be enough to crush Liu Bei to death. 3 layers of aura force and 3 layers of ocean waves engulfed Ning Fan. However, he didn't move at all. He flicked his sleeves and used teleportation to send Lu Wan back to the Luo Yun seats. At this moment, his eyes suddenly froze. A mere true blood. These 4 words were extremely plain. However, as his eyes focused, a 1,000 zhang tall shadow of Fu Li appeared behind him. His purplish-black demon blood was filled with ominous and evil aura. At the moment when it appeared, a vast and intolerable aura of dignity spread out from his body and turned into a pair of eyes that could shake the heavens. Under this gaze, it was as if even the heavenly Tao could be looked down upon. It was as if the void would collapse under this gaze. The 3 true blood phantoms, whether it was the Jade Wolf, the Snow Python, or the Whirlpool Tortoise, all of them trembled in fear and collapsed at this moment. The expressions of the 3 generals went grim as they flew 300 m back in unison, and only then were they able to slightly resist the might of the royal bloodline of the Fu Li kingdom, yet their eyes were filled with astonishment. Royal blood. It really was a true spirit king blood. But why have we never heard of the existence of the Fu Li tribe in the true spirit race? There was no explanation. Why was there a need to explain? Ning Fan's eyes flashed with cold light. He took a step forward and disappeared in a flash. In the blink of an eye, he appeared in front of the three generals like a wisp of green smoke. Then, he pointed at his glabella and the Separation Slayer sword appeared in his hand. A ray of starlight sword shadow fell into the eyes of the three generals. They could not see what it was at all. They only knew that it was a sword. However, it already gave them an extreme sense of danger. All of them were greatly shocked. Their faces no longer had the disdain they had when they looked down on Ning Fan earlier. This person's speed is too fast. This person's sword is too dangerous. We must defend ourselves immediately. Innate skill of the Jade Wolf clan, Jade Dipper. Innate skill of the Snow Python clan, Slippery Scales. Innate skill of the Whirlpool Tortoise clan, Yujia. In front of Demon General Fu Lang, there were a total of 12 astral spirits that only Jade Life Realm experts could display. With 12 Jade-like astral spirits protecting him, he was afraid that even a mid-divine transformation realm attack could be blocked. Yu Du revealed his demon form and turned into a 600 zhang large snow-white python. Dark green snake scales slowly appeared on the python's body. If one takes a closer look at these scales, each of them would be as sturdy as a low-grade earth profound armor. More importantly, these snake scales were extremely smooth. If ordinary magic techniques or abilities were to land on these scales, they would directly slide off and be nullified. Behind Gujia, a black tortoise shell that looked like black iron appeared. After blowing a mouthful of demon chi, the tortoise shell kept expanding and turned into a gigantic tortoise shell that was taller than a mountain, protecting Gujia in the middle. An early divine transformation realm attack and the destructive power of a profound heavenly incomplete treasure could not break this thick shell at all. The moment Ning Fan closed in on them, the three of them displayed their strongest defense. While they were defending themselves, they also began to form demon hand seals, preparing to deal a fatal blow to Ning Fan after blocking his sword attack. However, the Separation Slayer sword was not as powerful as they imagined it to be. The only thing it had was its sharpness. Ning Fan held the Starlight Longsword in his hand. His black hair fluttered in the wind as if he had become one with the sword. His sword was like lightning, slashing horizontally in front of him like a half-moon. Under this slash, all the heavenly spiritual force within 10,000 li was activated. The moment when the starlight danced, an extremely sharp sword light emitted an ear-piercing sword cry. With Ning Fan as the center, it shattered the sky within 1,000 li. At the moment when the sky collapsed, there were 15,000 starlight sword silks that were densely packed together. It made all the onlookers' scalps go numb. Sword transformation into silks. 15,000 sword silks. Each of the sword silks could easily tear a gold core realm cultivator apart. This one sword silk was enough to subdue 15,000 gold core realm small demons. 12 astral spirits, shattered. True blood snake scales, shattered. Mountain tortoise shell, shattered. Ning Fan swung the Separation Slayer sword and stood proudly. The three generals in front of him, however, had all their defenses broken by this single slash. Their shells were cracked and their demon bodies were destroyed. The three demon souls turned into dust and frantically escaped from their demon bodies. They were already terrified. That trace of sword light was too sharp. It was a spiritual treasure that was about to break through to the mid-grade. What was more terrifying was that there were more than 15,000 traces of the word sharpness on the sword. Unless one was a mid-divine transformation realm cultivator, who else could withstand the destructive power of this sword? I must escape. Trying to escape? Weren't you very arrogant just now? Ning Fan pointed at the sky and the three souls were frozen. With a flick of his sleeve, the three souls appeared in his hand. Without looking at their terrified expressions, he swallowed them in one gulp. The four generals and fourth brother's storage pouches were all taken by Ning Fan without even looking at them. At this moment, the aura of an early-stage soul formation cultivator was completely exposed. Divine Transformation Realm. This young man actually succeeded in breaking through to the Divine Transformation Realm. Wang Xiao rose to his feet abruptly. His pupils shrunk in disbelief. 11 years. 11 years ago, this Liu Bei was just an early nascent soul realm cultivator. However, 11 years later, he had truly broken through to the Divine Transformation Realm. Putting aside the fact that he had broken through to the Divine Transformation Realm, the destructive power of this young man's sword was clearly comparable to a mid-Divine Transformation Realm attack. If Wang Xiao was not mistaken, that Starlight Longsword was a half-step mid-grade spiritual treasure with more than 15,000 traces of the word sharpness. Moreover, it was an immemorial divine weapon. With this sword, this young man was almost invincible within the early Divine Transformation Realm. The Earth General of the Lai Tu tribe, Bai Wuzuan, was shocked. His Lai Tu tribe could be considered to have a deep grudge against Ning Fan. Bai Wuzuan had already planned to kill Ning Fan and take revenge for his previous visit to the Luo Yun tribe. However, at this moment, he was shaken. Even when he heard that Ning Fan had occupied the 3 Divine Transformation Realms, he was not so shaken even though he felt uneasy. Now that he had personally witnessed the destructive power of Ning Fan's sword, he was inwardly shocked. Unless he used the power of the Star of Bestowment, otherwise, he would not be able to withstand this attack without sustaining any injuries. If it was Ning Fan's full strength, he would not be so afraid of it. However, anyone with a discerning eye could see that Ning Fan did not use any sword techniques in that attack. He only relied on the sharpness of the Separation Slayer sword to easily kill the 3 Divine Transformation Realm experts. Moreover, all of this was achieved after the 3 Divine Transformation Realm experts displayed a defense that even Bai Wuzuan found difficult to deal with. There were no fancy tricks or tricks. Even if the 3 generals were given a chance to be reborn, they still could not withstand a single attack from Ning Fan. As the Demon Lord of the Lai Tu tribe, it was Bai Wuzuan's first time being afraid of a junior who had just attained the Divine Transformation Realm. Lu Haochen's eyes were filled with bitterness. He and Liu Bei were once the 2 greatest playboys of the northern desert. However, 11 years had passed and he was still at the bottom of the valley while Ning Fan had already attained the Divine Transformation Realm. Moreover, he had even become an existence who could kill 3 Divine Transformation Realms with his sword. It was laughable that he had mocked this person in the past in the Mingyu Tower. Back then, he really didn't know how to spell the word death. Demon concubine Wu Yen snickered. She thought to herself that this Ning Fan really has a monstrous innate potential. He actually achieved the Divine Transformation Realm in 11 years. Perhaps the current Ning Fan is strong enough to compete with me without using any bewitching techniques. A hint of pride appeared on Lu Wan'er's pretty face. This was the man whom she valued highly. This was the nascent soul realm ant, and Liu Bei, that Wang Xiao mentioned. But what happened in the end? Ning Fan stood on the purple platform and pointed his sword at Wang Xiao. Not long after he appeared, he had already killed 4 Divine Transformation Realm experts from the upper world. No one could compare to him in terms of elegance. The 9 divisions of the Lu clan could not be compared to him. Not even the prodigies of the true spirit realm in the upper world could compare to him. Lu Daochen stroked his white beard. His eyes were filled with gratification. Ning Fan has successfully attained the Divine Transformation Realm. In that case, this young man will probably keep his promise and head to the 3rd world to bury General Lu's soul. Lu Daochen raised his head and looked at the young man whose eyes and sword were filled with terrifying baleful qi. Then he sighed softly. Once upon a time, he also had the heroic spirit of pointing his sword at the heaven and earth. Unfortunately, he was already old. Liu Bei received the map. Lu Daochen made up his mind and took out the Luo Yun realm map. With a flick of his finger, the map was sent to the purple platform and Ning Fan. Along with the map, there was also an ancient painting. It was the painting that Ning Fan had once praised as an immortal treasure. After getting the map, Ning Fan kept it in his storage pouch and nodded at Lu Daochen. There was no need to say anything else. Since he had accepted the map, he would not go back on his word. Now, he had 2 pieces of the map in his hands. The map. This Liu Bei has already obtained the 2nd map. Each of the Divine Transformation Realm old monsters' expressions turned fiery. Moreover, many of them had already forgotten about the battle and intended to rush to the purple platform to snatch the map. However, when they recalled Ning Fan's terrifying battle record of killing 4 Divine Transformation Realm experts in a row, how could ordinary Divine Transformation Realm experts dare to challenge him? After all, even the Demon Lord of the Lai Tu tribe was afraid of him. Ning Fan did not care about the gazes, hostility, and fear of the others. He pointed his Separation Slayer sword at Wang Xiao. His sword chi was like clouds. Wang Xiao, do you dare to come up and accept your death? Damn it. So what if you have really reached the Divine Transformation Realm? So what if you really possess a true Spirit King bloodline that I don't even know? A mere early Divine Transformation Realm cultivator is not worth mentioning in my eyes. I don't need to do anything to kill you. Zhou Ting, go and kill this man. Yes. Among the 3 mid-Divine Transformation Realm experts behind Wang Xiao, the one with the highest cultivation base turned into green smoke and leaped to the purple platform. His aura force was as vast as the sea. His green armor was thick and heavy. His face was as skinny as a corpse, but his body was filled with boundless strength. He was an expert who mainly focused on body refinement. I am Zhou Teng. I have cultivated my demon cultivation for 2,900 years. I have taken the lives of 27 Divine Transformation Realm experts. Among them, 21 were early Divine Transformation Realm experts, 5 were mid-Divine Transformation Realm experts, and 1 was injured late Divine Transformation Realm expert. I am here to take your head under the order of General Wang. As soon as his voice fell, his demon power surged and pieces of rattan armor appeared around his body. The rattan armor gave Ning Fan an extremely heavy feeling. He was afraid that even his Separation Slayer sword might not be able to break through it. Only if the Separation Slayer sword broke through to become a mid-grade spiritual treasure would it have a chance of breaking through. This person was not to be underestimated. For the first time, Ning Fan felt that he was on par with him. Zodingha? I will remember your name. He loosened his grip and the Separation Slayer sword turned into starlight and flew back to his glabella. Ning Fan took a step forward. His astral spirit appeared around his body and his aura force was rising steadily. Judging from the situation, he was actually going to defeat Zhou Teng with the strength of his body refinement. Zhou Teng's eyes narrowed. His rattan armor was so strong that even experts at the 3rd level of the Jade Life Realm would find it hard to break it. This Liu Bei actually dared to compete with me in body refinement. I wonder if this man is too stupid or too arrogant. You won't be able to take a punch from me, Zhou Teng said arrogantly. Noisy. Ning Fan took a step forward and turned into a ray of light. Then he threw a punch at Zhou Teng. Zhou Teng's expression remained unchanged. His fist was also covered in a jade-colored light. When their fists collided, Ning Fan retreated 70 steps while Zhou Teng retreated 100 steps. The collision between the fists of experts at the 2nd level of the Jade Life Realm was silent. However, after a few breaths' time, the place where their fists came into contact with each other suddenly turned into astral winds. The immense aura force made all the demon cultivators below the Divine Transformation Realm show expressions of respect. What a strong fist! Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. This mid-Divine Transformation Realm Zhou Teng is a person who loves to fight bloody battles. Humph. Same to you. Zhou Teng's expression was cold but his heart was filled with shock. Both of them were at the 2nd level of the Jade Life Realm, but he was actually slightly weaker than Ning Fan. This man is actually such a monster. His cultivation base improved at an unimaginable speed. His body refinement technique is also so strong. The feeling of a tough battle once again rose in Zhou Teng's heart. Only the severely injured late-stage demon general that he killed in the past gave him this kind of feeling. The strength of this man is probably far beyond General Wang's expectation. Chapter 278. Zhou Teng said that Ning Fan wasn't a match for him, but the result was that Ning Fan's fist was weaker than his opponent. This result was no different from slapping himself in the face, causing Zhou Teng's pride as a member of the Kanglin clan to suffer a great blow. The wind blew the mist and clouds, but Ning Fan remained unmoving like a mountain. His chi was majestic and his expression was indifferent. Looking at Ning Fan's calm expression, Zhou Teng's face darkened. He gritted his teeth and remained silent. "You are stronger than Zhu Qin," Ning Fan said indifferently. "Stop boasting. All you have to do is take a punch from me. As a member of the true spirit race from the upper realm, I have plenty of methods to show you how powerful I am. Don't even think about taking my next punch." Kanglin innate talent, ice-absorbing art. The emaciated Zhou Teng slammed his fists together. The demonic chi turned into azure frost that covered his fists and then spread out to cover his entire body. It was as if he were covered in an azure armor of ice, giving off a cold aura. With a flick of his fingers, countless finger shadows appeared on his fingertips. The cold energy was guided by the demonic energy and entered his body. The strength of his physical body began to increase rapidly. The green frost was like jade, but there was a heart-shaking coldness to it. The moment it appeared, green snowflakes fell from the sky. The coldness of the frost was enough to change the weather. As the cold chi entered his body, regardless of Zhou Teng's physical strength, defense, or aura, all of them rose to a terrifying level. Perhaps he was not any weaker than a third-level Jade Life Realm cultivator. His aura had turned from restless to calm, like a block of ice that would not melt for 10,000 years. When the spectators saw this, they immediately gasped in astonishment. Azure Orchid Ice. The heavenly frost cold chi unique to the Kanglin clan. That's not all. This cold chi is a necessity to use the innate ability of the Kanglin clan. The ice drawing technique absorbs the power of ice and strengthens the body. It's the innate ability of the Kanglin clan. However, the stronger the power of ice, the more destructive it is. When Ning Fan heard the discussions of the crowd, his eyes turned gloomy. It turned out that the blue frost in Zhou Teng's hand was the famous blue ice. The heavenly frost chi was ranked 8th, one rank higher than the profound Yin chi. Zhou Teng was the first person Ning Fan fought who possessed the heavenly cold earth flame. Who would have thought that Zhou Teng would possess a type of heavenly frost chill energy? The secret technique of using the power of ice to strengthen one's physical body made Ning Fan's eyes light up. What a profound secret technique! To be able to absorb the power of ice to strengthen one's physical body. This technique is indeed extraordinary. However, if it is just relying on the power of ice, there is nothing for me to fear. The corner of Ning Fan's mouth curled into a cold smile. He took a step forward without changing his expression. Zhou Teng's corpse body flashed, turning into a green light as he punched out with an icy glow. Ning Fan dodged to the side. His eyes turned cold. Zhou Teng's punch missed its target. However, his fist trembled and green frost covered the entire sky. The strength of this punch was comparable to the peak of the second level of Jade Life Realm. The coldness of the green frost had even transformed into an ice-winged dragon that covered a distance of 10,000 miles. With a flap of the dragon's wings, millions of green snowflakes fell from the sky like falling flowers, yet they were accompanied by a murderous aura. The cold wind blew and the snowflakes enveloped Ning Fan. In just a split second, Ning Fan was already surrounded by thousands of snowflakes. Not only did Zhou Teng strengthen his physical body through the ice-drawing technique, but he also displayed a mid-grade divine transformation realm demonic technique at the same time. Without a doubt, this ice-winged dragon was released by Zhou Teng. This dragon is very weak. Your body refining technique isn't weak either. The innate talent of Ji Bing of the Fanglan clan isn't weak either. However, none of these are the reasons why I lost to you. Incinerate. As soon as the word incinerate was uttered, gray flames suddenly filled Ning Fan's entire body. At this moment, Ning Fan seemed to have turned into a gray flaming man. Zhou Teng's eyes flashed with disdain and he sneered. Gray flames? What kind of flame is this? Could it be a fourth-grade spiritual fire? Fire can subdue ice, but it doesn't mean that ice can't subdue fire. You're just courting death by using a 4th-grade demonic flame to fight against my 5th-grade heavenly frost. Is that so? Ning Fan calmly walked in the sea of green snow. His white robes fluttered in the wind. Pieces of green snow that were powerful enough to instantly kill a gold core realm cultivator fell within 3 zhang away from Ning Fan. Immediately, they were melted into green mist by a gray flame qi and dissipated. Chu Shun's expression suddenly changed. The ability he cultivated was related to fire. In front of this gray flame, one of the earth vein demonic flames in his body actually showed signs of losing control. This situation was really unimaginable. Lu Daochun's eyes turned serious. He had a deep understanding of demonic flames. There were tens of thousands of types of demonic flames below the 4th grade, and he had seen almost all of them. He was fortunate enough to see 7 types of 5th-grade earth vein demonic flames and even 1 type of 6th-grade demonic flame. However, the gray flame in front of him did not belong to any type of demonic flame. Lu Daochun was certain about this. It was not just a single type of demonic flame. It seemed to be some kind of demonic flame fusion technique. However, this fusion technique was too profound. Lu Daochun could strangely feel a trace of cold qi from this demonic flame. There's actually ice in the flame. What kind of flame ability is this? No matter how knowledgeable Lu Daochun was, he had never heard of yin-yang flame. The yin-yang flame was the fusion of ice and fire. It was a supreme technique to control fire, using the power of 2 opposing poles to create an even more powerful force. This was a secret technique passed down by immortal Emperor Chaotic Ancient. As the gray flames overflowed, the ice Quetzalcoatlus in the sky, which was just a body condensed by magic, showed fear in its eyes. Ning Fan took a step forward and directly went to the head of the ice dragon. The coldness of the dragon was enough to freeze any early spirit-severing realm cultivator who touches it. However, Ning Fan was not affected at all when he stepped on the ice dragon. There was no sign of him being frozen. On the contrary, the ice dragon immediately melted into ice qi when it came into contact with the gray flame. Destroy! As Ning Fan uttered the word, the ice dragon melted into green mist and disappeared. Zhou Teng's expression changed and he immediately retreated. At the moment when he retreated, Ning Fan approached him rapidly with his flame body. It was his instinct to retreat. However, after retreating to a distance of 10 zhang, Zhou Teng steadied himself and became angry out of humiliation. He had clearly used a secret technique to strengthen his physical body. However, because his demonic technique was broken, he instinctively felt fear towards Ning Fan, who was just an early spirit-severing realm cultivator. Damn it! I don't care what kind of spiritual flame you have, but you should know that in a battle of body refinement, it's an unchangeable rule that one's strength can break all techniques. Zhou Teng's 5 fingers turned into a claw and reached out to the void. His entire arm turned into green ice that was as hard as a mid-grade spiritual treasure. Then he tried to grab Ning Fan's head. Without retreating or evading, he condensed all the gray flames into a fist and threw it at Ning Fan. It was obviously a fire fist, but after it was thrown, it reflected hundreds of rays of fist light and dispersed into tens of thousands of gray fist imprints. After being hit by the fist imprints, the ice qi in Zhou Teng's body melted rapidly. The strength of his physical body that was enhanced by the ice drawing technique was destroyed on its own. Boom! Ning Fan's fist collided with Zhou Teng's again. The difference was that this time, Ning Fan's attack was much sharper. After the collision, he only took 50 steps back. As for Zhou Teng, his mental state was in a mess and he was about to lose. Under Ning Fan's fiery fist, his body was burned by the gray flames. He used up a lot of his techniques to extinguish the gray flames on his body. His eyes were filled with fear. He was from the Fanglan clan, a plant and wood demon race. He was afraid of fire. Even though he was not afraid of fire like the Min Luo tree clan, his injuries were definitely not light. What kind of flame is this? Zhou Teng originally wanted to defeat Ning Fan with his body refinement technique. However, his ice drawing technique was broken and his body refinement technique was not as good as Ning Fan's. If he wants to win, he would probably have to rely on his demon power. If his physical body collides with Ning Fan's and he gets burned by the gray flames, he would suffer a greater loss. Ning Fan's body refinement technique was strong, but his demon power cultivation base was just at the early divine transformation realm. A low-grade spiritual treasure would not be able to break his rattan armor. His cultivation base was higher than this young man after all. There was nothing for him to be afraid of. Zhou Teng's mental state gradually calmed down. However, his eyes no longer had the disdain he had for Ning Fan in the beginning. This young man is definitely an expert. He can even kill 1 or 2 ordinary mid-divine transformation realm experts. Young man, you are not weak. However, I have received the order from General Wang to kill you. Don't worry. You are not weak either. Compared to Wang Xiao, you are slightly less annoying. I will only kill you once. Alright, let's see who can kill who between the two of us. The baleful qi around Zhou Teng was even stronger than Ning Fan. Regardless of his personality, his killing intent was not something that Li Ban and the others could compare with. Even if Ning Fan captures him, he would not beg for mercy like Li Ban and the others. Ning Fan would only kill enemies who were not too annoying. Zhou Teng was indeed an expert. It was not a coincidence that he could kill an injured late divine transformation realm expert. If it wasn't for the fact that the Fanglan clan's grasswood body and ice techniques happened to be restrained by Ning Fan would need to use the wind mist technique to kill this person. Unfortunately, there was no such entrance in this world. Ning Fan's next move was to take this person's life. Both of their auras rose and they were preparing their demonic techniques. The ice power in Zhou Teng's eyes became stronger and stronger. The fear, conceit and arrogance that he had in the beginning had vanished and turned into the calmness that determined life and death. His hand seals carried green icy shadows. As he changed his hand seals, the demon power around Zhou Teng's body flowed in all directions, turning into several tens of thousands of orchids that looked like green ice crystals. Knowing that it was still impossible for him to kill Ning Fan with this technique, Zhou Teng's eyes turned ruthless. He patted his storage pouch and took out a sword. Then he forcefully cut off his left arm. Such a shocking act surprised countless demon cultivators. However, only a few of them knew that the self-mutilation was to display another secret technique of the Fanglan clan. Orchid-killing blood technique. Zhou Teng's face turned pale and he shouted coldly. His severed arm exploded into blood mist and fused with the tens of thousands of ice orchids, causing them to be dyed with a faint blood-red color. As for the qi of his demon power, it had almost reached the peak of the mid-divine transformation realm. With the demon power of a half-step late divine transformation realm expert, even ordinary mid-divine transformation realm experts would have a hard time withstanding the mid-grade divine transformation realm demonic technique. The Earth General, by Wuzuan, swallowed his saliva. Even if he uses the bestowment star, he only has a 40% chance of withstanding this technique. This Zhou Teng is really ruthless. In order to kill his enemy, he severed one of his arms. I'm not as good as him. I'm afraid that Liu Bei won't be able to withstand this technique. Forget it. It's good that he can't withstand it. If he dies in Zhou Teng's hands, it can be considered as indirectly taking revenge for my Lai Tu tribe. While the Earth General was pondering, his eyes were filled with shock at the next moment. The shock was not only in his eyes. At this moment, concubine Z lost her composure for the first time. She rose to her feet. Her phoenix eyes, which used to be insufferably arrogant, were now filled with complicated astonishment. Ning Fan knew that if he wants to defeat Zhou Teng in a battle of demonic techniques, he would have to increase his demon power. The parting sun spear was not any weaker than Zhou Teng's. With the support of the yin-yang flame, the power of the parting sun spear could restrain Zhou Teng's ice orchids technique. However, his demon power was a shortcoming. If this shortcoming increases to a certain extent, his gray flame might lose to Zhou Teng's ice orchids no matter how powerful his gray flame was. He must increase his demon power, and there was only one way to do so. He was not afraid of showing off in front of everyone. With his divine transformation realm cultivation base, he was qualified to use this technique in public. Soul extraction. He bent his palm and made a grabbing motion. as if he was going to extract the soul of the earth within hundreds of thousands of li of the Luo Yun province. Even though it was just a grabbing motion, it felt like he was taking out an ancient object from the earth and swallowing it. At this moment, his demon power rapidly increased to 50,000 units. The gap between his demon power and Zhou Teng's had shrunk. That ancient object was the soul of the earth. It carried the souls of hundreds of thousands of li and turned them into the destructive power of Ning Fan's finger. It's actually soul extraction. Chu Shun's eyes were burning with passion. When Ning Fan killed 3 gods in a row, he did not think highly of this young man. When Ning Fan displayed his gray flame, he also did not think highly of this young man. However, when he saw the soul extraction technique, Chu Shun could no longer remain calm. After all, this technique was one of the 3 void fragmentation realm divine abilities. Those who can comprehend this technique would certainly attain the void fragmentation realm in their lifetime if there are no accidents. This young man is actually not an ant but an expert who has the potential to attain the void fragmentation realm. It seems like the second world doesn't only have Lu Daochen who is a pedant but also this young man who is a monstrous existence. Zhou Teng's originally calm state of mind began to fluctuate again when he saw the soul extraction technique. Soul extraction. Soul extraction. This young man has such a high level of comprehension. I really can't underestimate him in the future. We should recruit such a person instead of offending him. General Wang Xiao has made a mistake. Once you offend such a person, he will become General Wang Xiao's greatest enemy if you give him enough time. I want to get rid of this threat for the general. Demon technique, Supreme Breath Ice Orchid. As Zhou Teng changed his hand seal, a heavy breath seemed to resound in the sky. In just a few breaths, tens of thousands of ice orchids seemed to have gained life. They turned into icy rainbows with ear-piercing screeches and approached Ning Fan in an instant. Each of the ice orchids was ignited with green ice flames when they were 100 zhang away from Ning Fan. The impact force of each of the ice orchids after they ignited their flames was comparable to a meteor falling from the sky. Ning Fan's expression remained the same even though the ice orchids which were comparable to falling meteors were getting closer and closer. He suddenly raised his hand. At the same time, all the plants within hundreds of li of the Luo Yun province withered. Their souls and life force were extracted. The earth cracked and the rivers dried up. The land that had lost its soul began to crumble. He grabbed with his 5 fingers. Traces of sunlight were pulled out from the sky like silk being peeled from a cocoon. They slowly condensed into a gigantic golden spear in front of him. The surface of the spear was bright and dazzling. It had a terrifying temperature that could melt everything. The reason why the temperature was irresistible was because there was a trace of true yang power in it. Divine Transformation Realm cultivators could not control that kind of power, but they could still borrow some of it. However, when Ning Fan willed it, 2 dark red divine stars suddenly appeared on his glabella. The first star was solid while the second star was slightly illusory. However, it was no longer half a star. It was condensed by accident when he was comprehending the parting sun spear in the dragon pool. This was the reason why he was late and also the reason why he was so powerful. For example, this gigantic parting sun spear only contained a trace of true yang power. However, after activating the second divine star, the Yin melting star, the lightning power turned into true yang power, increasing the true yang power in the spear to 12 traces. Therefore, the power of this parting sun spear was comparable to a high-grade divine transformation realm demonic technique due to the increase of the true yang power. As Ning Fan inserted the gray flame into the parting sun spear, the body of the spear was covered with strange gray flames. This technique had completely advanced to the high-grade divine transformation realm. The parting sun spear became bigger and bigger. It was almost 100 zhang long. Destroy! A surge of immense demonic power gathered in his palm. With a forceful slap, the parting sun spear turned into a ray of light that was half gold and half gray. The body of the spear reflected the light of true yang. As soon as the ice orchids came into contact with it, they immediately melted. The body of the spear was too fast. It was approaching Zhou Teng at an unimaginable speed. It reflected countless golden rays of sunlight in front of him and went into his body. When Ningfan's magic power was almost on par with his and the grade of the parting sun spear was forcefully upgraded to the high-grade divine transformation realm, Zhou Teng understood that he had lost. When the ice orchids were broken and the parting sun spear penetrated his body, Zhou Teng tried to escape with his demon soul. However, his demon soul was pierced by the rays of sunlight and was destroyed. With the ice orchids wrapped in his demon soul, Zhou Teng barely managed to escape from the range of the sunlight. However, he was already exhausted before he could get far. Then, he was captured by Ningfan's palm. Zhou Teng knew that he would certainly die because if he captures Ningfan, he would certainly kill Ningfan to avoid future troubles. Zhou Teng could even predict that Wang Xiao might not be Ningfan's match. It would be fine if Ningfan dies. However, if he ascends to the heavenly demon world in the future and takes revenge on his clansmen, he would be in danger. This old man has a request. It's impossible for me to spare you. Ningfan forcefully tried to extract the ice orchids from Zhou Teng's soul. However, he failed. This ice orchid seemed to have been fused with Zhou Teng's soul using a special secret technique. Unless he was willing to, he would not be able to separate it from his demon soul. If his demon soul is killed, the ice orchids would disappear. I don't want to live. I just want celestial orchid to be innocent. This ice orchids is my compensation for offending you. Celestial orchid is innocent. With a single thought, Zhou Teng's demon soul's eyes turned ruthless. He forced the ice orchids out of his demon soul and detonated it. He knew that he was going to die. However, instead of being eaten by Ningfan as food, he would rather self-detonate. He did not know if Ningfan would agree to his request. All he wanted was to be at ease. On his palm, a green ice orchid blossomed. Ningfan gently closed his eyes. Zhou Teng's personality was at least a man. If he did not willingly hand over the celestial orchid ice, Ningfan might not be able to obtain it. As long as the celestial orchid doesn't offend me, I won't be hurt, Ningfan muttered to himself. He shook his cauldron ring and kept the celestial orchid ice. He was telling the truth. He was not trying to comfort the dead Zhou Teng. If the celestial orchid clan does not provoke him again, he would not mind sparing their lives. After dispersing the earth soul, Ningfan felt weak. However, his eyes were still looking down at Wang Xiao from the purple platform. Wang Xiao, fight with me. Zhou Teng is such a good for nothing. Wang Xiao gritted his teeth. Of course, he knew that Zhou Teng had already done his best. In that kind of situation, perhaps none of the mid-divine transformation realm experts present could have done better than Zhou Teng. However, Zhou Teng was still defeated and killed. It was fine if he lost or died. The most hateful thing was that Zhou Teng actually gave in to Ningfan before he died. This was like a fiery slap to Wang Xiao's face. It was because Zhou Teng believed that Ningfan would definitely fight Wang Xiao today and the outcome of the battle would be Ningfan's victory. That was why he begged Ningfan to spare the lives of the Celestial Orchid clan, instead of asking Wang Xiao to avenge him. You two go and kill this Liu Bei. Wang Xiao pointed at the two mid-divine transformation realm experts behind him and said sternly. We. The two of them hesitated. Their eyes were filled with fear. They were not as strong as Zhou Teng and they were not as decisive and ruthless as him. They also did not have the courage to commit suicide. Knowing that Ningfan had the strength to kill a mid-divine transformation realm expert, the two of them were afraid and did not dare to make a move. Trash. Wang Xiao fiercely struck their chests with his palms. Immediately, the two of them coughed out blood but they did not dare to resist. Below the purple platform, on the cloud platform, there was dead silence. Ningfan was clearly standing on the purple platform. Anyone who ascends to the purple platform and defeats Ningfan would be able to snatch the two maps. However, none of the divine transformation realm experts who participated in the battle dared to challenge him, especially the Earth General of the Lai Tu tribe. At this moment, his face was filled with shock. His palms were filled with cold sweat and his shoulders were trembling uncontrollably. Zhou Teng was dead. Zhou Teng was actually dead. If I provoke this Liu Bei, I'm afraid that I will also have to die. Fortunately, I'm not the one who went to challenge him. This Liu Bei has clearly shown that he has a grudge against Wang Xiao. It's better for me to stay out of it, even though I don't think that this Liu Bei can defeat Wang Xiao. Wang Zhao's eyes turned gloomy. If that's the case, I have no choice but to do it myself. He took a step forward and the entire cloud platform shook violently. It was a sign of Wang Zhao's anger. At the next moment, his true body had already appeared on the purple platform before his afterimage disappeared. He stared at Ning Fan coldly. In my group of 10 people, 7 of them died in your hands. You deserve to die. Why are you resisting me? It's because of you that one heir was hurt. Purple light shone from Ning Fan's left eye. All of a sudden, it was as if it had replaced all the light in heaven and earth, causing the entire sky to be dyed purple. The might of the royal bloodline, the might of the half-step void refinement realm, a trace of immortal might. All kinds of aura force were cultivated step by Ning Fan. At this moment, because of the anger in his heart, just the aura force alone dyed the heavens purple. If I'm one step late, I don't know what would happen to Wan Air. But since all of this was Wang Zhao's idea, how could Wang Xiao let it go? Layers of aura force pressed down on Wang Zhao's body. However, he only took 3 steps back and got rid of the pressure. However, his complexion was already extremely ugly. Before the battle even started, he had already shown weakness to Ning Fan. To the arrogant Wang Xiao, it was really hateful. His white hair fluttered even though there was no wind. The battle was unavoidable. However, the corner of Wang Zhao's mouth suddenly curved into a cold smile. Liu Bei, I have a secret that I'll tell you generously. I've already found out that you're a human through the Pure Fire tribe. I even know that you're Zhou Ming of the Endless Sea. As long as I spread this news, there will no longer be a place for you in the second world. Ning Fan frowned. He didn't expect Wang Xiao to be so stubborn. Before the battle, he still wanted to say something to disgust him and mess up his mind. They know my identity? Ning Fan already knew that there was something fishy going on between the Pure Fire tribe and the Demon Sealing Palace. Thus, it was not strange for them to know his identity. There was not a trace of surprise in his heart. There was only calmness. So what if I can't hide my identity? Even if there is no place for me in the second world after this battle. So what? Even if the 9 divisions of the Liu clan will become my enemy after this battle, so what? Ning Fan smiled disdainfully. Wang Xiao, your words won't be able to sway me. However, I can tell you a secret. I'm sure your mind will be in chaos. On the day when the First World collapsed, I was the one who destroyed your demon body and the realm gate. What can you do to me? What did you say? Wang Xiao was enraged. Not only did he fail to disgust Ning Fan, but his mind was also completely messed up by Ning Fan's words. So, the destruction of the realm gate was actually done by Ning Fan. My demon body was actually destroyed by this ant. Purple lightning hammer, appear. Wang Xiao flicked his sleeves and a pair of silver hammers that glittered with starlight appeared in his palms. They were high-grade spiritual treasures and immemorial divine weapons. As he swung the hammers, purple lightning flashed. A gigantic mountain that was 10,000 li away was instantly turned into ashes by the flying lightning. I know you have a treasure that can kill a nascent soul. However, it's useless against this purple lightning hammer. Today, you must die. Chapter 279. Wang Xiao wore a silver robe, had white hair, and wielded a silver hammer made of violet lightning. Without a word, a pair of enormous silver wings sprouted from his back. He took a step forward, and his body grew taller and taller. After a few steps, he grew to a height of 1,500 meters. In front of this giant, Ning Fan was like an insignificant ant. However, he was not afraid at all. Gigantification of the physical body. Ning Fan remained silent. This was the combat technique of the ancient fiend gods. Unfortunately, Ning Fan's body refinement was already different from the ancient deities. The silver-feathered giant let out a shrill cry. After this cry, a strange night descended on the purple platform that was clearly daytime. It was pitch black, and one couldn't even see their fingers in front of them. Standing in the darkness, Ning Fan's eyes turned serious. How could he not know that this was the innate ability of the Ice Owl clan, Burning Night Technique? Night owls were creatures that lived in the dark. Bing Xiao had fused his bloodline with demonic energy and used his demonic energy to create the Dark Night. He had also used the Dark Night to block the enemy's vision and senses. Ning Fan tried to extend his spirit sense out. To his surprise, he could only see 100 zhang in the darkness. As for the demon cultivators outside, they had absolutely no idea what was happening on the purple platform. Although he couldn't see it clearly, he could feel a soul-stirring aura coming from the top of his head. The purple star in his left eye flashed. His vision pierced through the darkness and saw everything clearly. The moment the darkness descended, the silver feather giant's purple lightning hammer smashed down. The power of this smash caused 9 layers of thunderclouds to appear in the sky. Each thundercloud was formed by the power of thunder that had reached the pinnacle. Ripples spread out layer by layer, shattering the void. 9 thunderclouds, 9 layers of enormous strength. This was the extreme use of strength after the physical body was enlarged. Fast, too fast. The speed of this hammer strike was comparable to the speed of a soul formation final stage cultivator. Furthermore, it was a sneak attack in the dark. If one couldn't see the giant hammer strike, even a soul formation peak stage cultivator would be severely injured by this hammer strike. Looking at the purple golden giant hammer that was even larger than a mountain and the collapsing thunderclouds that resembled 9 layers of purple waves, Ning Fan's divine, demon and devil star points revolved at the same time. At this moment, his physical body did not grow larger, but the devil marks on his back were scorching hot. The demon blood in his body was boiling and the blood lightning around him was sizzling. His black hair fluttered in the strong wind. The large purplish-black crystal wings on his back flapped. At this moment, Ning Fan's speed reached its maximum. Like purple lightning, he soared to the sky and faced the 9 layers of thunderclouds head-on. Each thundercloud was powerful enough to kill an early-stage soul formation cultivator, and when all 9 of them combined, the power was enough to severely injure a mid-stage soul formation cultivator. However, as soon as the lightning star flashed and Ning Fan swept his gaze across it, the mere lightning clouds formed by the magic technique began to shatter, crumble, and vanish. After piercing through the 9 layers of lightning clouds, Ning Fan wielded his Separation Slayer sword and slashed at the mountainous hammer. Xiao Chun gathered all his vital qi on his sword. That scene was like a mosquito crashing into an ordinary person's palm, looking overestimating itself. However, the power of this sword was truly extraordinary. When the sword and the hammer collided, an extremely small collided. A loud, dong sound was heard. The falling momentum of the hammer was blocked by Ning Fan's sword. However, the force of this hammer went through the Separation Slayer to his chest, causing his blood and qi to churn. My strength is much weaker than his. After Ning Fan deflected the first hammer, the second hammer fell. He touched his glabella and took out the spirit-shattering whip. As he whipped the hammer, the sky within 10,000 li was filled with blood-red thunderclouds. The lightning force landed on the purple lightning hammer. However, half of it was absorbed by the hammer. Only a small portion of it went towards Wang Zhao's dantian. Knowing that he could not hurt Wang Xiao, Ning Fan kept the spirit-shattering whip. With a flap of his wings, he retreated a few hundred li at a speed that was comparable to a peak divine transformation realm expert. Then he swung his Separation Slayer sword. The darkness in the sky was cut into half and dispersed. Ning Fan now had a clear understanding of Wang Zhao's strength. At least, it was impossible for him to defeat him with just the Separation Slayer sword and the spirit-shattering whip. This person was arrogant and impetuous. However, his strength was not weak at all. In the darkness, outsiders could not see the battle between the two of them clearly. However, the blood-red lightning that covered 10,000 li, the loud sound of the 9 layers of thunderclouds collapsing and the ruthless cries of the ice owls all affected the nerves of the onlookers. It was not difficult to imagine how fierce the attacks of the two of them were and how many techniques they had used in the first exchange of blows. However, Ning Fan was still unscathed under such a degree of collision. On the other hand, Wang Xiao, who had transformed into a 1,500 zhang giant, had a trace of silver blood in his mouth. Wang Xiao was injured. The silver-feathered Wang Xiao's eyes were filled with anger and confusion. He had used the Ice Owl clan's sundered night divine ability to conceal his opponent's senses and sneak attacks with the purple lightning hammers. Even a late soul formation cultivator wouldn't be able to pierce through the darkness. However, Ning Fan had penetrated the darkness in his body. If that was not the case, it was impossible for Ning Fan to aim his attacks and destroy them one by one. Wang Xiao could not understand why Ning Fan could penetrate the darkness. Now, he could break the 9 layers of thunderclouds with his body. If there was still an explanation for all of these, then what happened next made him dumbfounded. Ning Fan did not evade the first strike of the twin hammers. Instead, he used his sword to block the first strike. The 3 qi-long green sword resisted the purple lightning hammer, which was as large as a mountain. However, the result of the collision between the two weapons was that Wang Xiao's strength only had a slight advantage. Wang Xiao thought to himself. His body refinement realm was undoubtedly higher than Ning Fan's, and he had even formed his Dharma image. However, Ning Fan, whose body refinement realm was lower than him, had almost completely withstood his attack without using his Dharma image. If Wang Xiao transformed his physical body into a gigantic one, Ning Fan condensed his strength. 2 completely opposite body refinement daos, but the outcome was practically equal. What injured Wang Xiao was the second hammer strike. He had heard about Ning Fan's true identity from the fire general Lu Jiefan. He was familiar with Ning Fan's ability to draw treasures and kill his nascent soul. That was why he purposely used his lightning treasure, the purple lightning hammer, to resist his opponent's lightning and avoid the danger of his demon's soul getting injured. His purple lightning hammer was a high-grade spiritual treasure, while Ning Fan's spirit-shattering whip was a mid-grade spiritual treasure. However, Ning Fan's whip was superior in terms of lightning power. Under the counterattack of the lightning power, Ning Fan managed to draw treasures and kill his soul, injuring Wang Xiao's demon soul. Even the earth-profound upper-grade spirit armor that his demon soul was wearing was shattered by the thunderbolt. If it wasn't for the ice seal on his demon soul, he was afraid that he wouldn't just be lightly injured, but seriously injured. Even though the injury was light, it made Wang Xiao's expression turn extremely ugly. He was certainly not careless or merciful. However, he was injured by an ant in the first exchange of blows. It was a great humiliation. No wonder this young man could kill Zhou Teng and the others. He is indeed quite strong. Besides, when the second hammer strike landed, he managed to avoid it with his incredible speed. His speed doesn't seem to be any slower than mine. However, it's still not enough to fight me. Wang Zhao's expression darkened. He raised both of his hammers and changed his hand seals. The shape of his lightning hammers changed. One of them turned into a purple mountain of lightning court and pressed down on Ning Fan's head. If he wanted to defeat Ning Fan, he couldn't just use brute force. He needed to use some tricks. As Wang Xiao changed his hand seal, the heavenly spiritual force was guided by Lei Shan and seeped into his body. At first, Lei Shan was still 10,000 zhang above the ground. However, in the blink of an eye, he had already teleported 10,000 zhang above Ning Fan's head. As for the other hammer, it turned into a purplish lightning prison that sealed Ning Fan's surroundings. Once he is suppressed by the lightning mountain, the lightning prison would further seal him an immemorial divine weapon to imprison him within, making him unable to escape. This was the transformation ability of the purple lightning hammer. It could turn into a mountain and a lightning prison, which was specially used to suppress and trap enemies. Purple mountain lightning prison. The suppressive force made the air turn heavy, making it hard for people to breathe. The air waves that blew against Ning Fan's face felt like needles pricking his face. Ning Fan's eyes darkened. His surroundings were sealed and the top of his head was suppressed. There was nowhere for him to escape. If it was in the past, he could still use the spirit-severing technique to turn himself into a black shadow and recondense it to avoid the attack. However, at this moment, he felt that the immemorial divine weapon had the ability to attack an illusory body. Even if he turns into a black shadow, he would still be killed by the mountain. I can't escape. I must break this purple lightning hammer head-on before I get suppressed. This Wang Xiao has the attitude of being able to defeat me with his powerful magic treasures. However, other than the Separation Slayer sword and the spirit-shattering whip, Ning Fan still has another powerful magic treasure. The blood sword. He patted his storage pouch and the dragon soul of the blood dragon flashed. Then, a broken and ancient blood sword appeared in his hand. As soon as the sword appeared, Wang Zhao's expression changed to one of disdain. The blood dragon demon sword? This sword is the treasure of the blood dragon clan. However, its sword power has been sealed. With the grade of this sword, it is not a match for the purple lightning hammer. Moreover, you won't be able to break the seal on this sword. Before Wang Xiao could finish his words, his eyes shrunk. Without saying a word, Ning Fan directly pressed two of his fingers on the body of the sword and swiped it. With this swipe, the golden purple wind and sand flowed. The body of the blood sword trembled as if its soul was trembling. The first seal on the sword quickly melted under the wind and sand. At the moment when the seal on the blood sword was broken, a dragon roar that had been suppressed for a long time came from the purple platform and turned into a terrifying blood-red baleful chi. Ning Fan kept the Separation Slayer sword and held the blood sword in his hand. He could feel his mind being shaken by the baleful chi of the sword. However, he gritted his teeth and released a blood-red aura force that was not weaker than a half-step void refinement realm cultivator to forcefully suppress the baleful chi of the sword. The blood sword was resisting. The sword was a dead object. However, this dead object was forged from the bone of a heavenly demon realm blood dragon. It possessed a sharp and unyielding pride. Unwillingness. Unwillingness. Unwillingness to die. Unwillingness to be controlled by anyone. Unwillingness to be a mere dragon bone sword. Roar. Strangely, the anger of an evil dragon was heard from the blood sword. It was resisting. It was trying to break free from Ning Fan's grasp and break free from his control. However, when Ning Fan's cold voice resounded and the golden purple wind and sand flowed on his fingertips, the blood sword that was a dead object felt tiny, insignificant and fearful for the first time. It's this move again. What kind of demonic technique is this golden purple wind and sand? Chu Shan's expression changed and he suddenly stood up. As for Wang Xiao, he swallowed his saliva. His forehead could not help but break out in sweat. It was because he clearly saw Ning Fan tear the first seal on the blood dragon demon sword. The aura force of a half-step void treasure spread out from the blood sword. He actually broke the seal on this sword. Not good. At this moment, Ning Fan moved the sword. His eyes swept across Lei Yu and Dian Shan. His words were threatening as if he was giving an order to the blood sword. No matter what identity you had in the Blood Dragon clan when you were alive or what glory you have to submit to me after becoming a sword after your death. If you don't submit and dare to rebel, I will use my wind mist finger to erase your sword body for eternity. Following Ning Fan's threat, the blood sword calmed down. Tearing the first seal was a trick of the wind mist finger. It did not completely subdue the blood sword. Originally, it could display the might of a void treasure, but now, it was barely equivalent to a half-step void treasure. That alone was enough. If it was a real void treasure, Ning Fan would not be able to control it with his current cultivation base. Even if it was a half-step void treasure, he could only barely subdue it by relying on the aura force of a half-step void refinement realm cultivator. It was as if his blood chi was being rapidly devoured by the blood sword. Ning Fan's complexion was slightly pale. His body was surrounded by a sword intent that could not be looked at directly. When the sword intent reached its peak, the blood sword suddenly pointed at Lei Shan above his head. All of the sword chi exploded at this moment. Along with the blood sword, a dragon roar that was filled with unwillingness resounded. Roar point 10, 100, 1,000. Under this stab, nearly 1,000,000 blood sword shadows were produced, blotting out the sky and covering the earth. It was a breathtaking sight. An ear-piercing sword chime resounded through the clouds. The sword might of a ferocious beast reverberated across the Luo Yun continent. Under this sword might, be it Lei Yu or Lei Shan, none of them could approach or suppress it. Both of them were forcefully held in midair by the might of the sword. When the blood sword slashed down, the millions of sword chi merged into one sword and slashed across the sky. Under this slash, the Lei Shan was crushed and the Lei Yu was destroyed. Both of them turned into two purple lightning hammers that had lost a lot of their spirituality. They fell heavily beside Ning Fan's feet, creating a pit that was 100 zhang deep on the purple platform. As expected of an immemorial divine weapon. Even though it was destroyed by the blood sword, it was still strong and indestructible. If it was an ordinary high-grade divine weapon, it would probably have been destroyed by the might of the sword. Puff! When the immemorial divine weapon was destroyed, Wang Xiao felt a sharp pain in his chest. He retreated from his avatar and half knelt on the ground. He coughed out a few mouthfuls of blood and his face was filled with shock. The blood sword that was accompanied by a carp was actually so powerful after breaking the seal. The most unbelievable thing was how Ning Fan, who was just an early divine transformation realm ant, could break the seal. Ning Fan did not feel any better either. That sword had almost absorbed half of his blood essence. If he wields it again, he would probably be sucked dry by the blood sword and die. It's a good sword. However, with my current cultivation realm, I can't wield it as I wish. Otherwise, the destructive power of that sword wouldn't just destroy the lightning hammer. Instead, it would annihilate all living beings within a radius of 100,000 li. Killing Wang Xiao would be a piece of cake. If I break the second seal, I'm afraid I can summon a power that can injure a void fragmentation realm expert. Chu Shun and Lu Daochun's expressions were filled with solemnity and shock when they saw that Wang Xiao was injured and Ning Fan had a large amount of blood essence extracted. They were shocked because Ning Fan had just broken through to the divine transformation realm. However, he was not at a disadvantage in the battle against Wang Xiao. They were worried because if both Wang Xiao and Ning Fan were injured, the 9 world maps would probably fall into the hands of Imperial Concubine Z and the others. By then, no one would be able to resist the Spirit King Palace. This was the reason why Imperial Concubine Z had been keeping quiet about the battle between the two of them. Why would she need to stop them? The more both of them were injured, the greater the chance of the Spirit King Palace to clinch the first place in the battle. This Liu Bei indeed has the strength to fight for the first place. If I'm not wrong, he just needs to forcefully activate the blood sword and take advantage of the situation to kill Wang Xiao. However, if he does that, he will certainly suffer severe injuries from the backlash. I didn't expect that this Liu Bei is actually not an ant and this Wang Xiao is actually so weak. It's not that Wang Xiao is too weak. It's Liu Bei, who is too strong. Imperial Concubine Wu Yen corrected her with a soft voice. 2 figures leaped onto the purple platform and stood between Ning Fan and Wang Xiao. Their purpose was to prevent the situation where both of them were injured. Enough. General Wang, retreat for the time being. This battle will be settled as a draw. Chu Shun said sternly. Liu Bei, that's enough. This battle ends here. It's useless to continue fighting. Lu Daochun advised. Ning Fan remained silent. He also knew that he should prioritize the important matters at this moment. However, he was unwilling to let go of the opportunity to kill Wang Xiao. As for Wang Xiao, he was even more unwilling to suffer a loss in Ning Fan's hands. He did not want to admit it, but he had no choice but to admit that Ning Fan's cultivation base was weaker than his. However, his combat power was slightly stronger than his. If this battle continues, Ning Fan would injure himself and use his blood-red sword to kill him. Then he would certainly die. However, he was unwilling to lose to Ning Fan. I'm not convinced. If you don't use your blood-red sword, you definitely won't be able to withstand a single move from me. Liu Bei, today's battle will be decided by the last move. Do you dare to take it? One move? Chu Shun's eyes darkened. Lu Daochun frowned while Ning Fan's eyes flashed with cold light. One move? Are you sure? That's right. All of us have suffered quite serious injuries. If we continue to fight, it will be difficult to determine the victor. Wang Xiao gritted his teeth. He was unwilling to say such words, but it was the truth. One move. If you win, your crime of killing Li Ban and the others will be forgiven. If you lose, you will die and the map will belong to me. One move. I won't use magic treasures but demonic techniques. Do you dare to take this battle? Demonic technique. Why wouldn't I dare? A wave of purple chi rose around Ning Fan's body. All of a sudden, half of the sky was dyed purple. It seems impossible to kill Wang Xiao today. However, this move, I must severely injure this person. Wang Xiao might be strong but he won't be able to withstand my finger. Ning Fan clasped his hands behind his back and stomped on the ground. Then he kept the 2 purple lightning hammers in front of him into his pouch. Seeing this, Wang Zhao's eyes darkened but he did not say anything. If I kill you with this move, I can take back my purple lightning hammers. One move. I only have the power for one move. There was an ice seal on his demon soul. At this moment, Wang Xiao tore a hole in the seal. A wave of vicissitudes aura was added to Wang Zhao's body. In an instant, his demonic power and aura force increased crazily. It was comparable to the peak spirit severing realm. Chu Shun's expression changed. This is the second innate ability of my Ice Owl clan, Ice Seal. This seal was given to me by a heavenly demon senior. At the moment when I tear the seal, my demonic power will increase by 1 small realm. Liu Bei, I will give you one last chance. Hand over the map, cut off one of your arms and kowtow to me as an apology. Then I will spare your life. Noisy! Ning Fan raised his finger. Golden purple sand flowed on the tip of his finger. The wind blew and the purple mist appeared. It's this technique again. Chu Shun's eyes turned solemn. At such a close distance, he actually felt a hint of danger from this technique. If he could sense the danger, it was needless to say that Wang Xiao was a peak spirit severing realm cultivator who was severely injured and coughing blood. Wang Xiao, I advise you to back off. You are not a match for Liu Bei. Get lost. You are just a prince of the lower world. What right do you have to call my name? Wang Xiao had already fallen into madness. In the blink of an eye, his eyes gradually turned cold and calm. It was as if all of his emotions had been frozen. On his left palm, a ball of cold chi with purple snow fluttering in the air appeared. On his right palm, a ball of black icy wind with ice particles appeared. As soon as these 2 items appeared, Lu Daochun's expression changed greatly. He immediately sent a telepathic message to Ning Fan. Be careful. Wang Xiao used 2 types of heavenly cold chi in this move. It's the East Pole Wind, that is ranked 6th, and the Di Ming Shui, that is ranked 4th. Chapter 280. Lu Daochun and Chu Shun retreated from the purple platform respectively. They had decided to stop the second round of the battle here and wait for Wang Xiao and Ning Fan to recover from their injuries before starting again. The 2 of them left the purple platform, leaving only Ning Fan and Wang Xiao in the arena. A battle of one move. However, this move must be his strongest attack. The golden-purple mist on his fingertips slowly dissipated. He stared at Wang Xiao and the 2 types of cold chi with a calm expression. Liu Bei, a battle of one move. Firstly, I will attack and you will defend. Secondly, you will attack and I will defend. Sure. Wang Xiao was thinking about taking the initiative while Ning Fan was thinking about how to deal a fatal blow to Wang Xiao. It might seem like he would be at a disadvantage if he attacked later, but there was an advantage in doing so. When Wang Xiao is exhausted, he could activate his wind mist finger without hesitation. After consuming a pill and regulating his breathing, Ning Fan formed his 5 fingers into a claw and clawed at the ground, displaying the soul extraction technique. His aura force rose steadily. Even though it was the second time he used this technique in front of everyone, the profoundness of it still made everyone gasp in admiration. Wang Zhao's eyes darkened. You're just trying to impress the crowd. I admit that you're an expert. However, you still don't understand the difference between an ant in the mortal world and a member of the true spirit clan in the upper world. Just like Zhou Teng, he was bestowed with the celestial orchid ice. As for me, I was bestowed with 2 types of 5th grade cold chi and the cold ice mark. You will die for sure with this move. Wang Xiao did not say anything else. He suddenly pressed both of his palms together. The intense coldness turned into the sound of ice freezing and spread in all directions. At this moment, the shadow of an icy moon was reflected from his body. The surroundings fell into darkness once again. The dark night divine ability was the preparation. The preparation was the moon of ice. Ice will technique. Wang Zhao's emotionless voice came from his mouth. It was as if he had turned into a different person. His tone was unusually steady. The two types of cold qi were fused with a strange technique, turning into a blizzard filled with purple ice particles. In an instant, the sky and the earth were enveloped by the blizzard. An icy moon slowly emerged above the broken night sky. That crescent moon was gradually filled with the cold qi and became a full moon. Within the full moon, there seemed to be an eyeball that was sharp and proud. As soon as the eye of ice moon appeared, the sky froze, and the wind and clouds froze. Wang Zhao's incantation changed, and numerous rings of violet ice appeared, swirling around the full moon. Ice wheel, first turn. Second revolution. Third revolution. After just 3 revolutions, the original ice moon eye shot out a sharp frosty gaze. It was like an ice fishing net that was spread out. Everything that was covered by the net was frozen, and all living things were frozen. This ice fishing net emitted a cold intent, and it had the aura of a high-grade transcendent realm demonic art. After the third transformation, it would be a high-grade transcendent level. With the help of 2 kinds of heavenly frost qi, the power of this attack was close to the peak transcendent level. With the moon as the frost, with the night as the coolness, we, the Owl clan, will guard the burial in the sky. Owl Defiant, the soul of the Zhang Air clan. Cold light flashed in Wang Zhao's eyes. He let out a long roar and pointed a finger at Ning Fan. The huge ice net immediately spread towards Ning Fan, vowing to capture this little fish in the net. Under the effect of this technique, Ning Fan felt a great sense of danger, but his right hand was still gathering the golden-purple wind sand. With a point of his left hand, the gray sea of fire that blotted out the sky soared at an unimaginable speed and turned into 9 gray fire dragons. Incinerate! The 9 fire dragons rushed towards the ice net one after another. 8 of the gray fire dragons were frozen and extinguished, and only the last one fiercely hit the net, burning a hole in it. Then he used the last of his firepower to burn a huge gap along the hole. Ning Fan flapped his purple wings and soared into the sky. He escaped from the range of the net through the gap, and was not frozen. The net was extremely fast, but Ning Fan's speed was even faster. Impossible! You are just an early spirit-severing realm cultivator. How can your speed be so fast? However, if you think that you can escape from the ice net just like that, you are wrong. Under the moonlight, there is nothing but a fishing net. After dodging the attack, Ning Fan's expression changed. Under the cover of the moonlight, his body began to slowly freeze. The ice net was just a bait. The real attack was the moonlight of the ice moon. Along with Wang Zhao's cold smile, the cold moon crumbled and turned into rays of moonlight, wrapping around Ning Fan like a cocoon. The ice cocoon became bigger and bigger. Every time it grew to 100 zhang, the cold power within the cocoon would double. When the ice cocoon reached 900 zhang, the cold power within it was enough to freeze an ordinary late spirit-severing realm cultivator to death. Wang Zhao's eyes turned cold. He changed his hand's seal and the ice cocoon exploded. The power of ice spread in all directions, shattering the hollow space. In just a breath's time, the entire Luo Yun province turned into an ice city under the influence of the ice power. At the center of the ice power explosion, clusters of black shadows were blown up and disappeared. Liu Bei is dead. Wang Xiao laughed happily. However, he felt a little strange that he did not see Ning Fan's storage pouch. Since he had controlled his strength well, his storage pouch should not have been damaged. Even if it was damaged, the world map was special. Other items would die under the demonic technique, but the world map would not. Of course, the purple lightning hammer that Ning Fan had taken away would not be damaged either. If it was not here, It was probably sucked into the hollow space by the storm when the hollow space was shattered. However, Wang Xiao did not have it easy. Forcefully activating the secret technique with his severely injured body had a huge side effect. Now that the secret technique had lost its effect, his limbs and bones were suffering from the backlash of the ice power. The surroundings were dead silent. Wang Xiao's magic technique was really terrifying. Ning Fan did not use any decent methods to resist it at all. It would not be strange if he died, especially the members of the Luo Yun tribe. Each of them wore a dejected expression, thinking that Ning Fan had really died. Lu Wan-er was the only one who took a step forward. Her beautiful eyes stared at the purple clouds that had yet to disperse and said with determination, "Liu Bei won't die. You're right. How can I die so easily when the enemy is still alive?" An indifferent and cold voice resounded in the air. At this moment, the sky was filled with purple clouds, reflecting the most dazzling purple light. At this moment, the black shadows condensed and turned into a black-robed figure. His face was cold and his eyes were pure black. The left side of his face had a demonic pattern. The black-robed young man's face was pale. He coughed out blood which was mixed with ice shards. Even though he had used the Black Tempest soul-splitting technique, he was still heavily injured by Wang Xiao's magic technique. However, he would not die. The sense soul incarnation could be broken and dispersed at will. It was a great ability that allowed one to transform into the void. Only void fragmentation realm old monsters could comprehend the principle of illusion. Due to the difficulty of killing an incarnation, this technique was listed as one of the 3 void fragmentation realm techniques. Even void fragmentation realm old monsters were passionate about cultivating this technique. Being shrouded by the ice cocoon and torn apart by the ice power, Ning Fan's injuries were definitely not light. However, these injuries gave Ning Fan an unprecedented understanding of the sense soul incarnation. Sense soul incarnation. In the past, I understood the 2 words sense soul as spirit sense and soul. Now that I've used it again and again, I vaguely understood that the 2 words sense soul aren't as simple as they seem. Sense is obsession while soul is courage. If one doesn't have courage, they wouldn't dare to break their body to avoid being injured. If they don't have obsession, they wouldn't be able to reform their broken body. This is the true meaning of the sense soul incarnation. I don't know about courage, but I do have obsession. Breaking and condensing again. The black shadow that the black-robed young man had turned into broke again and again. However, every time he condensed, the injuries on his body would gradually recover. Incarnation self-healing. Imperial Concubine Z's red lips were at a loss for the first time. Incarnation was an illusory physical body and a defensive ability. It was completely different from a clone. In order to condense an incarnation, one would need to be at least at the void fragmentation realm. However, ordinary void fragmentation realm experts would not be able to cultivate an incarnation to a level where it could self-heal. Imperial Concubine Z did not know how an early divine transformation realm expert like Ning Fan could master such a secret technique. She also did not know what kind of heaven-defying perception this young man had to be able to comprehend the incarnation technique to a level where it could self-heal. Her beautiful eyes swept across Imperial Concubine Wu Yan, recalling the warning that she had given to her. Don't provoke Liu Bei. This young man has comprehended 2 void fragmentation realm secret techniques. His aptitude is heaven-defying. Even I shouldn't offend him. However, this young man isn't a member of the demon race. This is an undeniable fact. The black shadow condensed again. Ning Fan raised his finger and pointed at Wang Xiao with a mist. Wang Xiao was stunned. He could not understand why Ning Fan was able to survive the attack of the ice power. He also could not understand why the golden-purple mist gave him such a strong sense of danger. He knew that he had to retreat. However, he was already exhausted after using that move. As for Ning Fan's aura, it was constantly rising as his body broke and condensed again. It was a spirit and an obsession that would never change even in death. I must protect my true love. Before that happens, I will not die. No matter how many times my body is crushed, I will not die. Elegance is a finger of quicksand. Age is a period of time. Purple technique, wind mist. Purple clouds scattered. The ice in the Luo Yun province melted and was replaced by purple sand. The wind blew across the Luo Yun province. The wind blew again. However, this time, it was Ning Fan who was using the mist wind. Wang Xiao wanted to escape, but Ning Fan pointed at him with the back of his hand. Freeze. Dark red threads of pressure seeped into the demonic body and entwined around it. Wang Xiao felt terrified for the first time. He roared in disbelief. Impossible! How can you have so many heaven-defying techniques? You are just an ant in the mortal world. Impossible? I have done even crazier things. Do you know? Yes, the craziest thing that Ning Fan had done was not to fight against tens of thousands of mermaids and mermen alone. It was not to kill a nascent soul at the harmonious spirit realm. It was not to sweep across the demon's sinister forest. It was to trample on the heaven court and injure an immortal emperor in his previous life as a mortal butterfly. Even though the body of a mortal butterfly was small, that obsession of his was certainly terrifying obsession. But as soon as he pointed his finger, the entire city was filled with smoke and sand. In just a short moment, Wang Xiao was engulfed by the purple wind mist. To his horror, he realized that he was aging rapidly. His general armor, robes, and cultivation base were all disappearing without a trace. They disappeared. He had no idea where they went. Only Ning Fan knew that the things that he had lost were devoured by samsara. Humans have samsara and immortals have samsara. No matter how long you live, you will never be able to escape samsara. Wang Zhao's mind was filled with the memories of his long life. His long and tedious thoughts gradually became blurry. His white hair began to fall off. His handsome face was filled with wrinkles. Eventually, one of his arms began to rot. His other hand wanted to grab the rotting ashes. However, as soon as he exerted force, his entire body turned into ashes. His demon soul melted and disappeared without a trace. This was the true annihilation of his body. He's dead. Wang Xiao was actually killed by this young man with a single move. What exactly is this wind? For the first time, Chu Shun felt a trace of fear. The Luo Yun province was silent for a moment. At the next moment, a deafening cheer was heard. General Bei is mighty. An early spirit-severing realm expert killed a late spirit-severing realm expert. That you're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.